when I drive, and it feels so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag, 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I had. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb at first, but I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb at first, but I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst. You are the calm to my storm. You could take the wind, and though the winters were calm, weighing on our shoulders, these the ice could never break us in. You were my horizon that I didn't see at first. You were my horizon, and the breeze is just what I deserve. You were my horizon that I didn't see at first. You were my horizon, and the breeze is just what I deserve. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb at first, but I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst.
And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? And you know I'm feeling good like that, so what you gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior.
Welcome in, everyone, to Marvel Rivals Collegiate, brought to you by the NECC. I am Vodable, and joining me is the one and only Shibby, and we are here to bring you the action for two series tonight, both Division 3, and it's going to be a great one here, Shibby. We got Stevenson versus Boston University, and then we have Grizz Maroon versus GCU Purple. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, a couple teams we've seen last semester, couple players that are very, very high rank here. Some of these Div 3 teams potentially could be Div 2 or even Div 1, but I'm excited. A lot of good teams, a lot of good games. Hopefully, maybe we probably get like a 5-game series on both of these. I know our curse. Last week I determined with CB that it's a week-to-week thing. It's not actually me or you. So
I think it's together, our powers combined.
Yes, exactly. Because we did not get a single 5-game series last week when I was with CB, and I fully expect 10 games today.
It's going to be a fun time, too. I mean, as you mentioned, decently high-ranked players on at the side of Stevenson University, which, again, we talked about. We've casted them before last semester. You got AK, who's Celestial 2, Vanguard on their side. Their fun fact is that they post their best clips on TikTok at awoken_Yoda, so follow them. Free plug for you. Snipes also on that team too, who is on the duelist but can kind of flex any role. Celestial 3 peak. They like to cook, and their favorite thing to cook is steak. So, you know, pretty rare that we see someone who likes to cook steak on that one. I'm sorry, Shibby.
I'm just disappointed. You couldn't help it. I knew it.
I know. I'm sorry. The dad joke's coming through. I'm getting to 30 this year, so I got to get them out of me at some point.
Twins,
on status. But Sizzy also on their side is a strategist, peak Celestial 3, and apparently they can speak 5 languages. I wonder what those languages are. Either way, that's more than I can even imagine trying to learn. So kudos to you, Sizzy. MP3 player, she is Celestial 3 strategist and power lifts regularly. That's how you know you got a good strategist, if they can power lift you. Show on the Vanguard side still hasn't solved a Rubik's Cube. I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see. Is a Vanguard for their team. And then Kitty Swag is plays Duelist as well. One above all on console, and now Celestial 3 on a PC. And they play 2 instruments. We need to know what those instruments are. Please, if you are in the chat, let us know. Didn't get any info, unfortunately, for Boston University, so we just know that they're players and they enjoy Marvel Rivals, and that's what we'll tell you about them.
It's all that really matters, right?
Exactly.
When you're competing in collegiate Marvel Rivals, as we get the rosters here for Boston University Red. Fakule, Amain, Squink Bands, Dr. Daly. I'm not going to say that one. And Jeff Can't Swim.
You could just say scenario.
Scenario.
Oh, in area. Yeah, I guess you could
Oh,
say in
yeah.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually I give out an award. Best name. That is the best name. I just can't say it. I'm sorry, guys. I can't say it. Come on, guys.
Contractually obligated to not say that name.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I can say it. But it is the best one here by far. Right. So you win that award, Mr. Area.
Or
That's
Mrs.
what we'll call him.
Don't know.
Yeah, Area, Mr. or Mrs. Area. Other than that, though, Vaudable, what do you anticipate between these two teams in terms of like meta and stuff like that? I know me and you just got recently
It is
done
MRC
casting a pretty
bans.
bag. Yeah, it is MRC bans. We just got done casting a big tournament. A lot of interesting stuff there. Saw some Vanpool that you mentioned earlier.
That's true. Yeah, I'd like to see a lot of Vanguard pool. We've been seeing them specifically using the ban hammer so you can target a hero that way. Also, not too surprised to see Symbiotic Surface banned out here. So they don't want to play that at all. I get it. I mean, a lot of people don't like playing Symbiotic Surface. I don't know if is it Symbiotic Surface that they're banning out, or is it Celestial Husk that they're banning on that one? Either way,
It's
one of the
probably
Clintar
Celestial
maps.
Husk. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably Celestial Husk because you have to start with a domination map. So
I believe so.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. I don't think it's Symbiotic Surface. Anyways,
We'll figure out.
It's Celestial Husk. It's
One
Celestial
of the
Husk.
Clintar maps.
Yeah, one of the many. I'm interested. I don't think it's this week, right? It's next week we get Museum of Contemplation. I believe it's a 2-week competitive cooldown, right? I don't think we get Museum of Contemplation this week, unfortunately. I would have loved to see some teams go on that. We saw it in that tournament earlier, where some teams were able to get the upper edge in that map because of how
Always
new it
some
is,
sort
how
of full
different it is.
hold before like the third capture. We never saw it go to OT the entire
No.
time. So I'd be very
No.
surprised if when we do get that map in the rotation, if we do see something of that sort. Also means we're going to have a bit of a delay on Elsa Bloodstone, who comes out this Friday, but no delays on the patches, which means Adam Warlock's going to have his flight next week. It's going to be great. We'll probably see some triple strategist compositions using that specifically on that end. But we're going to Krakoa.
Ooh.
Old Faithful. I mean, speaking of the tournament that we saw this past weekend, Shibby, I mean, we saw so many teams just kind of had a one-sided affair on Krakoa where they take the first capture point and then they go to the bank with the second one pretty easily. So, okay, cool. Thank you, chat. Kitty Swag apparently plays guitar and euphonium. I don't know what a euphonium is, but I'm going
What
to
is a
use good old trusty Google
euphonium?
for that one.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, it looks like
In between
it's
a trombone and a tuba according to
brass.
production.
It's
That's cool.
brass. Fun fact, Vaudable, I was also a musician. I am a percussionist.
What
or
happened?
was a percussionist. You know,
Getting old.
like you said, yeah, I'm nearing 30 this year. I don't think the people with me would appreciate me having a full-fledged drum kit in
That's
my
valid.
house.
That's
Yeah,
valid.
so
Yeah.
I have seen the electronic ones though; those are kind of cool. But yeah, I used to do.
They
all
sound
that
like
kind
so
of
much noise too, because like.
Oh yeah, it's you're just banging on plastic with the drumstick. So yeah. I don't know. It was fun. I did it a lot when I was in high school.
Annoying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe because then you can't even the people can't even hear what you're doing. But I want to go back to Krakoa, like you mentioned, the one-sided affair as we do get into the bans, MRC. So Boston University instantly going to ban the Hella. That means it's going to be banned away for both teams, and I don't think we're
There's
going to
the
see anything
Gambit
too
ban.
crazy. There's the Gambit ban. You kind of have to ban Gambit. The saves, I think, are going to be a lot more personal. I would probably suspect something like Groot. I don't know if Stevenson University. Well, maybe Stevenson is probably watching at least high level meta.
Okay.
Love the
Yeah.
Angela.
Angela's really good on this map because it's so
Yeah.
open. You can just kidnap them away into a little corridor and just take them out. Invis also very good on domination. No surprise there, especially with the new patch that's coming out. Invis and Strange is just gonna be the de facto duo for Vanguard and Strategist. Mantis is a perfect ban in this current meta because you do not want that damage boost to get your ultimates that much faster. I'm curious if we're going to see a Loki ban in some sense of the term, or if we're not. Rocket Raccoon, okay, that's actually kind of a sneaky one because we've seen a lot of teams, especially Lunex, who are now Sentinels, playing with Rocket Raccoon very well with them and the Adam Warlock. And it's been kind of a decent combination using that and then probably Loki typically with the triple strategist lineup. Okay, I like it. So more of kind of like a flyer, dive in, dive out sort of composition from Stevenson that we're seeing here so far.
Yeah, Angela, Star-Lord. you have the dive plus redive potential, right? I would say Star-Lord's like dive / mid-range, depending on how you want to pilot them, how you want to play them. I like the invis save. I love the Magneto save specifically. One of the few
the actual
yeah.
It's gonna be good one.
One of the few Vanguards. Yeah, one of the few Vanguards that can deal with Star-Lord, and also Angela. You have the self bubble. Because the thing with Angela is, like, yeah, she's really annoying, but you can hear when she's going to, like, try to, kidnap you from, but she sounds like a fighter jet. Like, there's no way you're not hearing it. Yeah, she's like, literally, so she's so loud. Just have to make sure you bubble yourself and you waste that really important cooldown there. No cloak and dagger. That's been the big rise this season, right? Double Terror Cape. We talked about it. It is disgusting.
That's great, too. I'm loving these from these teams. A plus. Yeah. They get full marks on this ban and protect phase. They have been paying attention to the game and the meta, which is great. Great to see.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on how they perform in the actual match itself, and if they can go forward, get the victory that they need here, or if it's going to be their opponents taking the initiative instead. But either way, I think Stevenson, going for more of that dive style based on what they banned and protected, right? They got rid of the Groot, so they don't have to worry about his Ironwood Wall where he can't get kidnapped. You have to focus that down a lot, too. The Magneto ban's a great counter on to that Star-Lord, as we were talking about, and the bubble, as you mentioned, to try and protect yourself or your strategist for those assassin charges from the Angela on that side. And then Gambit, that's just a universal ban that we see happen as well. So let's get into game number 1, map number 1 here for Stevenson University versus Boston University Red. Both these teams currently 1-1 on the season so far. So I believe so. At least let me check my records on that one. Actually, no. Stevenson looking for their first win. Boston University are 1-0.
Wow. Well, Stevenson hopefully can look to get something as we spectate the Loki. Stevenson coming out with the Thor, Angela, and
I like
Venom.
it. I like it.
This is essentially using Thor as like a big duelist, right? A beefy duelist. I like that. And Angela is not really like a true Vanguard, right? Because of the way she plays, she's mostly just kind of looking to annoy the backline. I don't hate it so much, but Boston University have arguably the best 2 duelists to deal with triple Vanguard in the Moon Knight and the Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I like the counter composition that we see from Boston University Red, and the way that we see Stevenson University also positioning themselves for this first team fight. Again, as it typically goes for domination maps, if you get the first team fight win, you typically are the one to take the point. So both these teams trying to see if they can secure the objective. Only one member going down on Boston University, but that was enough to push them off the objective. I wouldn't necessarily call that a team fight win just yet, but the first engagement was definitely won by Stevenson.
Yeah, not a full team fight wipe per se, but it gets them that, first point take like you mentioned in Krakoa. Yeah, a lot of teams can just run away with that percentage, especially with how fast it builds up. But we do see Mr. Dr. Daly building up the Moon Knight ultimate. Hand of Khonshu can be dropped. Typically you see it, to separate the Vanguards from the strategists here. Nice ult coming out from area there. The invisible boundaries coming in. I think unfortunately, the voice lines aren't active at the moment, but, we have our eyes. We can see what's happening.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get that fixed in between each of the maps themselves. But, yeah, the ults do come through that time. There is the Ensong Inferno from Jeff Can't Swim, which is so funny that Jeff Can't Swim is the name of the duelist on their side.
That is... Yeah, because we clearly see him swimming in the ground, too. Maybe they know something we don't. Nice fight win, though, from Boston University. Investing quite a bit, though. Like we said, Ensong Inferno plus the Invisible Boundary. Although we do see Dr. Daly hanging on to that Hand of Khonshu. This is the one time where I will say, use that as soon as you get it. Because that ultimate, one of the lowest charge costs in the game, as we do see VC Abyss come out. Unfortunately, unable to secure any eliminations. But the Invisible Boundary from MP3 player, along with the Galactic Legend from Vision, is going to come through. No elims though just yet. Jeff finally picks up MP3, but Kitty trades out Dr. Daly. God of Thunder is going to come in here as well. Big slam onto multiple members of Boston University, and that's going to allow for the point to flip.
Massive point win again for Stevenson University. I think they're ending up a little bit on the better end against Boston University in terms of these team fights. But again, the percentage is pretty close to each other. So we do have that Hand of Khonshu for Dr. Daly. Rocking the rollers. like to see that, the console players coming over and competing in these tournaments as well, especially in the collegiate space. It actually is a lot more accessible on that end too.
Yep.
You can play on console at home, you go into a facility if they are playing locally or not, and then actually get on the computers that way too. So it's pretty dope to see that be available for different students depending on what they have available at home as well. But right now, Show getting that first elimination onto Dr. Daly. I like the zoning of the Moon Knight ult, but it wasn't as better placed as it could have been to actually take up the entire space of the objective. Did force out the invisible boundaries, though, on the other end. So eventually we are going to get the Heaven's Retribution combination with the Ensung Inferno. That's kind of a similar one that you would see to the group Moon Knight. Nowadays, a lot of people have been using that.
Yeah, and despite all that, Boston University are going to flip that point. Stevenson are coming up on God of Thunder, Galactic Legend as well, and like you mentioned, Boston University burned a lot of their ultimates, right? We'll see Amain 85% on the Between Both Worlds, but if Vision has been tracking it correctly, he should just pop this Galactic Legend and look to wipe.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing now, using the Galactic Legend. We'll see if any other ultimates come through. Invisible Boundary. Actually, the slow people down from the other side does get kind of countered out, though, as we see from the Luna Snow getting a dance party going, at least for a moment in time. God of Thunder, though, from Kitty Swag. They're going to get at least one acclamation, also getting another with the Dark Magic Burst. And they're actually going to ham right now. And Doctor Strange getting a bit of a buff in this next patch notes with the Invisible Woman team up, so perfect time to learn them a little bit more.
Isn't it crazy that his Maelstrom of Madness will now give him and his allies bonus health?
Extra health based on the damage
off
they
of
do,
the charge? Yeah, and it pulls them in.
It's nuts.
I love that. Really good round from Stevenson there, but that triple Vanguard composition, we've seen it here and there. I haven't really seen it. That's like a we lost kind of composition right there.
I think
where
a
they
lot
run
of
like the
teams
Hulk.
have been liking it a lot more, especially with Angela and Thor. I think Thor, a lot of people tend to categorize more as a duelist these days than a typical a typical Vanguard that you would see out there. So like you can get in their faces, you can do some message damage, you can kidnap them towards your back line. You have the extra spear toss as you would typically have as well with the Angela. So that might be why they're going with the triple Vanguard halfway for that too. But also, they might just have people who prefer to play Vanguard on the rosters. Collegiate, right? Some of these teams come together not necessarily because they were recruited. They come together because they go to the same college or university. So that could be the case for this team too. Update on who these teams played before, by the way. Stevenson went 3-1 against U Albany Purple. U Albany Purple was the one who came out on top there. And Boston University 3-0'd University of Ottawa in their first series as well. So those were the matchups that happened before this one.
Yeah, and Kitty Swag here opening up with that Rune Force. I kind of been liking the way Thors have been evolving so far. I don't know if I necessarily agree with Dr. Daly swapping over to their own triple Vanguard composition. I feel like Moon Knight was the answer. They were just too apprehensive. I think Boston University in general were too apprehensive on their ultimate usage and looking for the perfect moment rather than just dropping it and trying to figure out who to focus down here. Both the Invisible Boundary comes out from Boston University as well as Sizzy with the copy. But with that being said, Galactic Legend is available. And unfortunately, there are no strategy ultimates on the side of Boston University. But can Vision actually track these ults? I want him to just burn it here.
Yeah, I'm really curious if they are going to use the Galactic Legend or not. The lamps are out already, too, from the Loki. So we will see the clobbering time come through from Dr. Daly. That does stun out Vision, but he's actually perfectly hidden behind the barrier there, so they aren't going to be focused as much. Show taking a lot of damage, though, and this does give some more space for Dr. Daly to move up. I'm liking this positioning and the early percentage that's being taken by Boston University, but they do drop one down. Heaven's Retribution goes through for Show. See if they can get the combination with the God of Thunder too, but no real picks coming from it. Instead, there's a good counter from Boston University. Great heals from the strategist lineup.
Yeah, I love that. Vision as well, still trying to come back in. Squink takes down Kitty. I do like this Emma pick into the Thor and the Angela. I mean, pretty much all of these Vanguards on Stevenson's side are liable to just get grabbed. And then once you get grabbed, Dr. Daly can then throw the purple onto you, right? He makes you take 20% more damage, and then there's just a lot coming through. So I was a little bit skeptical of Boston University and running this triple Vanguard composition, trying to copy Stevenson, but so far, they've been doing a really good job. Well, Stevenson have now swapped over, did swap over not too long ago, to that double Vanguard, double duelist composition with Phoenix and Star-Lord.
I like the change-ups for Stevenson University on this one. I think that's what they needed to do, but the problem is that they're getting sectioned off so far away from the objective, and they haven't really found themselves a way back onto the point. Ensong Inferno does get destroyed before it can even do any damage, but already one member going down on Stevenson. Agamotto doesn't even get the Phoenix somehow. They just completely missed the timing on it. Unfortunately, it was a bit too high away from them, trying to see if they can use the shield to protect their backline from the Meteor M, and they do it just that. Invisible Boundary comes out from Sizzy and from the area member of Boston University. Sonic Seduction did a little bit, but unfortunately not enough for them to get the eliminations that they wanted. So Stevenson University, they've just been having a tough time to even get onto the objective and have not been having enough damage because of that triple Vanguard that they started with. Even after swapping off, they need some eliminations here to at least clear the objective. Woo! Finally, Kitty Swag does get one, but the trades aren't really enough just yet.
Ooh, Kitty is landing some shots here. Needs to hit a couple more before they can decisively win the point right now. Nice focus coming out from Boston University. They're really pressuring Kitty to hit these shots under duress. Vanguards are going down. Vision needs to keep this Invisible Woman down so that they can at least win the point here for Stevenson. Hard fought, but Boston University so far, 99%. And Stevenson, Vaudeville, you know what I like to say. They got to play perfect Marvel Rivals from here on out.
That they do. I mean, we saw that they had it in them in the first objective, but I think that was because the combination that we saw from the Angela and Thor, just able to take people off the objective and then use that with maybe the Galactic Legend happening at certain moments. But I like this composition from Boston University. There really hasn't been too much of an answer once they had that full hold strategy. So I like the playing up a little bit, not pushing too far. Vision almost has their ultimate online because it doesn't really take too much time. Mind you, that's getting buffed into this new patch coming forward that they can get it even faster. Wild. But either way, Ensong Inferno at least pushes them off the objective for now. I feel like it would have been better for Kitty Swag to use that in combination with another ultimate, just so that they can confirm some eliminations. And no, the freeze onto the Doctor Strange. They weren't protected at all, so the Agamotto does nothing.
Silver lining, to be honest, because they still win the fight anyways, and
True.
Acclamation gets to build up towards his Eye of Agamotto. When you get frozen or stopped like that, it actually only drops you down to 50%, which I think is nice. Not super punishing, but still worth for Stevenson here in a weird twist of events. As Jeff, though, Ensong Inferno available along with Dr. Data. A lot of ults have been stacked for Boston University Red, so Stevenson has to make do with what they have at the moment.
Oh, double Ensong Inferno. Great to see. Fate of Both Worlds, though, is making it so nothing's really happening from that on their end. Instead, Boston University timed theirs perfectly. MP3 player needed to use their Invisible Boundary during that fight to keep them alive, but unfortunately, they waited a little too long. Sizzy used theirs, but they immediately got eliminated, so they couldn't even do anything about it. So a tough spot to find themselves in, and kind of shows the difference between the Luna Snow Ultimate and Invisible Boundary when it comes to the massive amounts of damage that were available to their opponents. But look how many ults are available for this third point. This first team fight is going to be a spectacle of ultimates.
Yeah, it's going to be a smorgasbord of ults, right? And I think, unfortunately for an MP3 player, they ended up going down first in that last team fight, holding on to that Invisible Boundary, potentially because they wanted to use it, obviously, to counter something like Ensong Inferno, or maybe the Sonic Seduction, or maybe match main. But yeah, Luna Phoenix, because the Luna can damage boost the Ensong Inferno, it actually just eliminates through all the support ultimates. So it's tough.
It might be tough, but someone has to put up as best they can of a performance into this next objective to prove that they are the better squad. Stevenson again looking for their first win here in the spring semester. Boston University want to go on a hot streak again. They didn't drop a single map last time. 3-0 performance. Stevenson at least got one, but they need more than that if they want to make the playoffs later on. Championships on the line too for the future, as there is that NECC Nationals that was announced recently.
Yeah, that's going to be super fun for any of these players to compete at that LAN event. Dr. Daly swapping back over to the Moon Knight. Here comes the Galactic Legend. On top of that, we'll see the Sonic Seduction look to counter it with the Invisible Boundary, but I feel like Vision has already gotten what he needs. 2 members have gone down for Boston University by the time those ults came through. Just a massive waste.
Oh man, it's rough for Boston University because like they had such an upper hand on that last team fight to start off the second checkpoint.
Yes.
And then it just seemed like everything fizzled out. Maybe just the usages of their ultimates didn't work out as well as they were hoping it to. I think that's more what it was than anything else. And Stevenson threw the kitchen sink at them, and they could not counter it, unfortunately, in time. So better timing of the ultimates from Stevenson this go-around. Gets them the early percentage that they were lacking last time. And as I mentioned before at the start of this, and you'll typically hear us like a broken record every domination map, whoever gets the first capture in a team fight typically ends up winning that round. So it looks good for Stevenson, but, well, actually, it's going to continue to look good for Stevenson.
Looks really good. Great, some would say. Even here is Vision. I kind of just saw this guy not do a lot last round, and he's coming alive here in round 3. Really well played from Vision, confirming some of those eliminations. Dr. Daly on that Moon Knight has the Hand of Khonshu available, but no real ultimates to combo with. I am looking at Boston University to combo the Ensong Inferno with the Meteor M here. Jeff Can't Swim, and Fakule specifically need to be on point. Can do a lot of damage, can actually burst through Invisible Boundary, or the copied Loki ult, whatever that may be.
Really want to see when this Meteor M potentially comes out from Act. Waiting for them to just hold on to that till some sort of other ultimate play comes through. Maybe they'll see if they can combo it onto the Luna Snell. Yeah, the Meteor M is coming out this time, trying to see if they can time it perfectly, but completely missed with the dunk. So instead, Invisible Boundary comes through from both ends. Galactic Legend available to Vision, but they're going to have to wait for the boundaries to go. And here it comes out. Sonic Seduction to try and counter it out. And that's what we typically see it used for whenever there is a Starlord on the other side, but so many eliminations coming through. Unfortunately for the Emma, they could not stay alive for their Sonic Seduction to get any value.
And the moon haunts Boston University Red, and Stevenson end up taking map 1 with a 2-1 victory. Boston University's ultimate usage on that last fight, or sorry, that last round, quite honestly, was very desynced. 2 members would go down, then we'd see the Luna ultimate, or 2 members would go down, and then we see the Invisible Boundary. Honestly, the strategists have to be a little bit more decisive on when they're going to ult and use that to their advantage. Very well played from Stevenson, though, to bait them out, or at least wait them out until they can get their ults through. Vision had a, really good round 3. I think Kitty Swag, whether he was on the Thor or the Phoenix or even the Moon Knight here with the MVP, did very well. 17 finals to the name, the DPS or duelist duo for Stevenson University, Vision and Kitty, racking up 30 total finals. I think that's almost as much as the whole enemy team combined.
It's a lot, to say the least. So a great look so far from the side of Stevenson. Hard fought, though. I mean, that second checkpoint gave me some worries for them. I was like, oh, maybe it's just, one good team fight is all it was going to take. And then, unfortunately, they just couldn't really get things going together. The composition wasn't working out as well as they wanted it to towards the end of that. So it was a tough spot to find themselves in. But good for them that they were able to turn it around in at the end to find the composition that worked out and realized Moon Knight's actually really good. So that's what we saw happen pretty well for them. Unfortunately for Boston University, even going into that triple Vanguard at the end just wasn't enough. And I think the big thing was for them that they could not even get some of those eliminations themselves. So great positioning that we saw from Stevenson. I think they benefit to the more open maps based on the compositions that they try to go for. So that could be what they go for if they do lose this next map, depending on what is chosen by Boston University. Ball is in their court, depending on what they want to play and what we see potentially banned out here as well. But Central Park is where we're going to now for Convergence. Love to see it. So we'll probably have a convoy map for the next map after that. So, I mean, Central Park, there's a couple different strategies you can go for. I'm curious if we see kind of that triple style, depending on if it is Stevenson playing the defensive end. That's been very popular recently. We haven't seen Penny used at all because of no Rocket Raccoon, right? Having that team up anymore. But people sometimes still like to pull her out on Central Park just for the first point, so you have some usage if they're like a Penny fan on that end. But Moon Knight also pretty good too, just to break those holds. So wouldn't be too surprised if we saw that again from Boston University. I mean, there's a couple different options that they can go for, but this is gonna be a fun ride. Central Park's always a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we could also see that triple strat composition with like Loki and Adam on defense.
Yeah.
Which we
Oh
have
man,
seen.
yeah.
Not
See, I don't
sure.
want to give them ideas here, Shibby.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, hearing Born Again 3 times in a row could cause me to just leave.
What do we think is going to be the ban and protects, though? That's the big thing. Like, again, this being MRC, it's a little different than the Ignite style that we saw this past weekend. So it's universal. If you ban something, it's banned for everyone. Save something, saved for everyone on that side, too. So definitely not seeing Gambit unless for some reason either of them just play chicken with each other, right? And let it go through. So MRC, I feel like you're much more likely to see Gambit for that reason if they try to prioritize something else first.
Yeah, it's funny. Because now you're just playing a Gambit war, and it's just what team is better at confirming eliminations. I'll never get over that Thor mug, man. Like every time I see it, I'm like, Jesus.
I just need to comically get a bigger and bigger mug each time, so that I just pull one from off screen and just drink in a jug. Yeah.
Eventually, you'll work your way up to those like NFL
Or-
big Gatorade bats. Ones.
What would be so funny if we were casting that other hero shooter and I had like one of those hamster feeders,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
like the little water things. I saw some streamer have one of those. It was the funniest thing ever. But yeah, back to the
Efficiency.
game itself. Central Park. I feel like Central Park's also going to be so interesting with the new changes coming up, right? Because Wolverine is going to be insane. The way that they can be used there.
I'm banning him.
Also Bloodstone with her ultimate is going to be crazy because she can kite people off the edge, depending on like where on the map they are, especially if it's in kind of going towards not the last staircase, but the first one to like the castle area where you have that open area on the side. You could just kite them off that way.
That wall.
So yeah, there's a couple different spots you can do with it too. So I'm really curious. I wonder if we'll see Angela as well on this one too. I think maybe more towards the mid, but not at the attacking side at the start.
Angela's really good on point 2 and 3 specifically. I mean, that last point where you can just take people into
Point 1,
the
not so
abyss.
much.
Yeah, point 1's a little bit tougher. You do have that opening, like you mentioned, on that right side, the alternative opening, but typically we'll see like more hardcore dive characters go through there, like things like Daredevil, which we haven't actually seen.
We
banned
haven't
or
seen
fake
Daredevil,
character.
which makes me think another of these teams play Daredevil. Because if you don't see Daredevil, that's usually what that means, right? Is that no one feels comfortable on that end. So we'll see. But Stevenson University, they will be the ones in charge here after the first ban from Boston University. So it looks like Stevenson are the ones that are going to be defending. And yeah, Boston University are not even going to worry about having it be available. They want to get rid of it immediately, which makes sense because Gambit is very effective on convergence maps, especially this one. Like if you can immediately use it as you're attacking, there's nothing you can do. I think this might be swapped then, actually, now that I think about it. Because last time it was Boston University that banned Hella first, and it was Stevenson who banned. Yeah, this is swapped. You just can tell from the bans and protects on this side. So Invisible Woman will be saved by Boston University. Stevenson will be the ones who are saving the Star-Lord again, banning the Penny. So that makes a lot of sense. They don't even want to have to worry about the entrenchment that you can expect from that. There's the Mantis fan again.
Yeah, there's the Mantis. I just like Penny is so much worse to play. It's like riding in a Bugatti and then you're downgraded to a Toyota Corolla, man. No offense to Corollas, but I'm just saying, like, having 2 nests and then going down to 1 feels so much worse to play. And they didn't really give Penny any compensation buffs other than, like, a little bit more HP, I believe 25 more, which realistically is not that big of a deal. The thing save.
Okay.
Love
I mean, we
that.
saw Dr. Daly play that a decent amount, so I get it. Yeah. Thing's really good on this map, I'd say. I like Thing on this map.
I mean, I'm a Thing fanatic. I'll pick him whenever, wherever. I don't care if it's Domination, Convergence, Convoy. I love playing Thing. A lot of people, the community is very split on him. Like, a lot of people feel he's terrible. There's another side of the community, like more, I would say, higher elo people or even the pro level scene. They're like, oh yeah, this guy's busted. Like, he can make you take more damage. He can restrict
His
all your
Hulk
movement.
team up now is going to be nuts.
Oh. I am duoing with
I'm ready for
Zotaic
that.
immediately, bro. Like, I told
Hey,
him, like,
brothers,
yo, I need
baby.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I need a Hulk duo. I don't know too many. And he's like, yeah, for sure, bro. Oh, dude, I'm so excited. It's also interesting. We can kind of divulge as we talk about some of these bands here. Cloak, Rocket still. These are pretty much the exact same picks and bands, other
Pretty
than
similar,
the
yeah.
only wrench being that Penny. The Payne brothers, all right, Hulk and Thor, I feel like they gave a lot of team-ups to characters that aren't, normally picked together. Like, the only one is Strange and Invis. You'll typically see that backline and frontline very, very frequently. But, like, Rocket and Mr. Fantastic, I've never seen those two, like, heroes paired together.
I think that's
theory,
purely
right?
a ranked team up because a lot of people love playing Rocket in ranked. So there's those Mr. Fantastic mains that can get something from it, right?
All 10 of them.
Yeah. Oh man, it's neat though because it does level up the skill expression. I would say for Mr. Fantastic because
100%.
it makes it so that you can choose when you go into your large and in charge form, which is how I like to call it.
Yeah, big mode, big
mode,
yeah.
yeah.
Large and in charge. It also increases the elasticity, so I'm interested in seeing if that extra increase,
If it makes it last longer, yeah, I think it does.
yeah, or like gives you more HP. Yeah, I love the skill.
I don't think it
expression
gives you
on
more
that.
HP. I think it just lasts longer is essentially what it is. So it makes it manual for when you go into that large form and makes it last longer based on like the timing from it. I'm curious what the exact numbers are for it though because the patch notes unfortunately didn't tell us anything about it. But what we do know about this is that this is a annoying toolless lineup to play against here on Boston University. They're trying to build up their ults as quickly as they can. Already 22% for Jeff Can't Swim is nuts. So Ansong Inferno, they're looking to get no group ban actually this time is one thing to note. We did have that last go around, and this is going to be a big change in favor, I would say, of Stevenson University. Groot is really good on this map.
Groot's good on offense and defense, and like you said, it was in favor of the Penny ban. That was the only thing that was different. And Jeff, unfortunately, positioning a little too aggressively there.
Oh,
you said we
no.
wouldn't see the Angela. Unfortunately, yeah, they can't. It's really tough to get him into the abyss there, but it obviously is still very detrimental. Spearing like two people, especially the strategist there, and just keeping them occupied. And then in a really, really quick turn of events, Stevenson University captured this first point in under a minute.
Yeah, no, that's a huge capture from them. No time for a portal, unfortunately. And we haven't really seen
5.5 minutes.
Boston University go for portal plays, mind you, either. Like, they typically just stick with it. So maybe they don't feel as comfortable, like, having someone swap to Strange. Could be a difference between these two squads. This also, looking at Stevenson University, makes me worry about how good Albany are, right? They're the team who 3-1 the Stevenson University roster. So it's like, man, that must be a team to look out for in their division for Div 3.
Yeah. A lot of these games, though, a lot of these matches can just be determined by who shows up on the day, right? Like, sometimes you can just come in and just be the better team for 3 out of 5 games or 5 out of 5 games or whatever, how long you go. But right now, Stevenson University very much showing that they are the better team on the day right now, as Boston University is getting pushed back. They haven't even actually had a proper 6v6 since the start of this game.
Ouch. That's all I got to say about that one. Ouch. This is a massive windfall in favor of Stevenson University. I mean, they're almost already to that second checkpoint. I think leaving the Groot open and trying to go for the Penny ban was not the way to go. Penny, of course, solid on this map. Groot is just an S tier. One of the best in slot vanguards for a reason. Ooh, I like the counter the Meteor M, though, onto the Strangling Prison, so it doesn't even work at all. So great usage of it to get it out of contention for there. And Slugget Proto, though, coming in from Kitty Swag. Able to at least do some damage, but Invisible Boundary and also the Fate of Both Worlds not going to really make that do anything. We rarely see Luna Snow players nowadays, but I think it's a decent counter into the Phoenix ult.
Yeah, I mean, the bonus health you get, obviously, when you're dancing, and also just the amount of healing that it does. I also like Luna just for the fact you can damage boost. And
damage boost,
there's our first Daredevil. We just said, we're like, hey, nobody really plays Daredevil, or, they haven't really manned it out. Dr. Daly whipping it out here, but he is kind of solo diving, so it's tough for him to get really any value unless his job is to run interference on this Angela.
It looks like it is.
I'm gonna mark you forever, and you're never gonna get to my back line.
Honestly, a solid way to go about it too, just so that they can focus down the Angela, especially on the second point. Very easy to go for the assassin charge. Kidnaps off the stage. So Dr. Daly trying to get some usage, some mileage. Double End Song Infernos coming out here from both ends. Works out better in the favor of Boston University, though. Invisible boundaries galore. Meteor M drops down. Doesn't get a pick, though. Dr. Daly does have the devil that they can let out. Sonic Seduction to counter the Galactic Legend, and
Nice.
that's perfect usage of it this time. Last go around where we saw them in domination, they weren't able to get as much mileage from it, but this time, perfect team fights back-to-back from Boston University.
Yeah, really, really, really good ultimate economy from them, as Dr. Daly does have the devil to be let out on Stevenson University. But because Fakule used that Meteor M last time around, was able to, as I say that, never mind. I was like, it's like Shoho had the 96% on the Groot ult and opted in to swap over to that Angela. Kitty is going to be playing Psylocke, and this is practically a full dive composition from Stevenson University.
I like it. I like the change-ups. Realize that, you know, the devil has been unleashed, and it will get unleashed here any moment now. Eventually, the ultimate will come through. Surely something's going to happen. But they're trying to get an elimination first and then use it whenever ultimates maybe come out from Stevenson University. And I'm loving this coverage, this focusing on Show-O. So they can't really do anything for their team. Swap them over to the Thing this time, so maybe that'll be a difference maker for their squad. But there is finally some eliminations against the Boston University duelist lineup, so they aren't as effective as they would like to be. See if they can take down this Emma. I'm liking this flanking that we're seeing from Kitty Swag. Also, interesting kit change up coming up from them for this next patch too, right? The ult is nerfed a little bit, 10 damage per tick, but also they have less damage fall off, which is nice. So a bit more range for Psylocke on that end. The devil was unleashed, but it was quickly sent back into timeout.
Yeah, I heard him scream for a little bit, and then he instantly went down here. Meteor M from Fakule. Unfortunately, this one whiffs as well, and Kitty Swag picks up the elim on Squink. And yeah, I don't know, the Psylocke changes are weird, right? Because you reduce the damage on the ultimate, right? It doesn't really mess with the breakpoints. Like, it's still gonna eliminate through invis and stuff like that. But you transform her a little bit into, like, prioritizing, hey, I'm gonna shoot you from 15 meters away because I only have 70% damage fall off, right? It allows her to farm ultimate on tanks, which has typically been the preferred playstyle for a lot of Psylocks, and then into Dance of Butterfly. I don't know. Psylocke is in a really weird spot. I believe she limbos from, like, dive to mid-range. Oh, did he just whiff? Did he fall down? He did. Shoho!
No, man. That's rough. Not exactly where you want to see things go, and exactly why you see Boston University with a clean sweep ace against Stevenson there on that team fight. Completely due to, yeah, the whiff on that one. So we'll probably see a portal potentially come in here from Show on their end just to get them back in the fight. Maybe, oh, no, they're just going straight up. They're not going to use the portal yet. Instead, feeling maybe a bit more confident just with a shield tank style on this one. So see if they stick with that or not. Interesting positioning is all I got to say.
Yeah, MP3 player got assassinated by Dr. Daly. That's what you saw. They're like, wait, what happened? The Ankh came down, and unfortunately Shoho goes down as well here. Yeah, not a big fan of the Doctor Strange pick here, simply because what are you really doing into Thing, you know, and Emma? Like, they're both just gonna grab you or slam you or whatever, right? I don't necessarily love it. Dr. Daly though does have Night ult. Dance of the Butterfly comes in, takes him out. That's a big ult taken away from this battle. 5v6 right now for Boston University Red. A TP's already coming in. Very early investment. What am I watching?
I don't know. I think they canceled the portal. Yeah. Show-O is doing some interesting moves is all I'm going to say about that one. Trying to find some value. Maybe they're going for a cheeky portal play to, like, send someone off the edge. But because they did that, they wasted their portal and won't have it available to them later on. So a rough spot to find themselves in likely means Boston University, if they win this team fight, they are able to get a full hold from it. But Vision trying to get some good damage. Both of the strategist ultimates being popped by Boston University, though. And here is also the Hand of Khonshu from Dr. Daly, so they can't even do anything with it. Good counter, though, from Kitty Swag. Ak and Show-O does get one pick, so at least in OT, they're able to move a little bit further this time. Invisible Woman almost going toe-to-toe with Kitty Swag this time as well.
Boss.
They're finally going down. You can see why Psylocke is able to do some massive damage. Even if they aren't as favorable of a pick as they used to be, they almost have their ultimate up again They had it in the last team fight. Now they're only 5% away from it again. And Sung Inferno does drop down this time, though, for Jeff Can't Swim, getting at least an elimination. Here's the Dance of the Butterfly, but not the best timing for it. As I say that, though, they still get 3 through it. Doesn't matter with the the fate of both worlds from the Luna Snow. They just have their own dance party on the graves of their enemies.
4 back-to-back KOs for Kitty Swag there. 14 finals. That boy is cooking. That's all I'm saying. That dude doing really well right now for Stevenson. Very, very well played. Good lock-in. And this is where we're going to see the group really shine on defense specifically. The Ironwood Wall obviously now giving you, on top of the bonus health and, you know, you allowing to get healed through damage you do and damage your teammates do, also makes you CC immune. You cannot get grabbed. Bucky's not really a good pick anymore. You kind of are forced to play Shield Break, in my opinion. Something like a Punisher, maybe a Squirrel Girl. You can also opt in for the Moon Knight. But I feel like Dr. Daly has been relatively slow on gathering those ultimates. You can see just by the damage he's doing. 7,000 damage is not a lot for Moon Knights.
Hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more from them specifically. Kitty Swag's really been carrying the torch, I would say, for Stevenson University. I mean, without their ultimates, without their flanking and their swap to the Psylocke, they would not have gotten that 3rd checkpoint. So, good change up for them. We see the triple style, but in a very unorthodox way for Stevenson University.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this.
This is one of the cops of all time.
Very wonky. Maybe if Sissy goes in for the Jeff ultimate, you can get the soul bond in so you don't immediately get bursted out here. But obviously in map or point 1 specifically, all the points, but specifically point 1, Jeff actually has a really good time, you know, eating people and sending them to the abyss because of how close the fall off point is here. As I say that though, Kitty Swag frying on both the Psylocke and now the Adam Warlock. As long as it's hit scan, I think he'll do fine.
Makes sense. Yeah, doing pretty good for their team, which is great to see. Seeing if they can build up that revival as much as possible here. Jeff Can't Swim. They really need to get some picks, though. Building up that passive against their opponents. Just do some massive burst damage. It's huge. If they can get elimination as well, it'll do some great AoE against their opponents. Moon Knight, Dr. Daly already has their ultimate, but it's going to come down to the timing for it, and their back line and one of their front line getting taken out so quickly just makes it so they can't do anything about it. That's actually good follow-through by Acclamation, just to make sure that they're pushing them the entire distance and not giving them any room to work with.
I love the way Acclamation is playing Thor, right? Just super in your face, understands, has 3 strategists behind them, can play super aggressive. Ooh, unfortunately the clobbering time does land, but immediately goes down, so no follow-up here. Maybe they were looking to combo it with something like the Song Inferno that's getting used, or the Moon Knight ult, but yeah, big ult coming in. Unfortunately that for them though, Kitty Swag is going to use the self-res, and it's still a 6v6. Scratch that, 6v4.
Oh no, this might be a full whole story for Stevenson University, especially since they're able to get 2 for the price of 1. One just gets KO'd, the other off the edge, but they can push up themselves. It was Dr. Daly who used the Onk to send them flying. That is so funny.
High value Onk. High value Onk there. Unfortunately though, Sissy should be able to come back before anything really transpires, and I do hear a Punisher, but it might be too little too late. 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock for Boston University. They are going to open up with that Luna Snow ult. Maybe they can drop the Hand of Control on top, like you said, damage boosted. But Dr. Daly, nice dodge. Plus shield. God of Thunder is going to come down right onto Mr. Area's head. Strangling Prison as well. And just for good measure, Kitty Swag is going to pop that Karmic Revival. So all that hard work you did, Boston University, gets erased immediately. I hate to
Daly
harp
has
on
not
this.
used
Yeah,
this hand
I
of
was gonna
Conchu the
say,
entire time. Like, since they have been on attack, they have not used their ultimates. That is not what you want to see from a Moon Knight, because Moon Knight can get their ult so quickly. I know you want to get the maximum value out of it, but you just want to pop those up and create some space for your team as best you can. Like, you can section them off so that the strategist can't get to the front line or something of that sort. And maybe they're trying to save it for when we saw the revival coming through from Kitty Swag, but even then, wasn't the best strategy for them. So unfortunately, not working in their favor. Still holding on to it for now. Psionic Seduction going to be used this time, and also seeing the Final Judgment. We finally do have that Hand of Conchu used by Dr. Daly, but Jeff the Shark's just going to ult the back line and take out the Invisible Woman all the way to the end.
No, she's going to jump back. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, she's going to jump back in.
Take them off. What?
Yeah, you have to take them off. Unless he's just going to go for the 1v1. He's running the hands right now. That's actually really good for Stevenson University. Nice! Nice shotgun usage from Jeff there to take Acclamation Bout immediately. Fukule lands a big clobbering time here, and all the meanwhile Boston University are healed up by the Luna Snow. But Invisible Boundary coming in from MP3 will allow their strategist ultimate to just outlast Boston University. And I mentioned that 1v1 that was happening off screen. That's really good for Stevenson because they still have 2 strategists left.
Oh, they didn't
Boston
even
University
use a revival.
Yeah. They don't need to. They didn't really need to use the revival. And unfortunately, Mr. Area comes in a little late with their own invisible boundary because they were busy 1v1ing the Jeff. It's too little, too late. Boston University, I don't think are going to be able to get this point. Another clobbering time from Fukule though. Nice haymakers all around, but I just don't think it's enough.
Yeah, some good damage. And the problem, though, for Stevenson University is that they aren't getting these eliminations onto Boston University. They've been holding on to this point the entire time, and giving the free reign with a triple coming out from Fukule might be able to get even more so, and it's 1v2 situation on the objective, but it gives so much room for the rest of their team to get onto the point. You see Main actually swapping to the Jeff to move towards the objective as well, so finally they are able to capture it. Because Stevenson University wasted their ultimates.
Stevenson University wasted their ultimates. Also, nobody was paying attention to Fukule. He built 2 ultimates up, practically just haymakering, right click simulator for Mr. Fukule. And Stevenson got to be hitting themselves in the head here. I think getting a little bit overzealous or confident even, burning their ultimates when they didn't really need to. I think the Karmic Revival specifically was really, really bad.
Yeah, no, they used that in the middle of the fight when there wasn't anyone down, like, at all. So I guess they wanted to use it as extra insurance just to make sure in case they got eliminated. But you have to have faith in your teammates in those moments. And unfortunately, they couldn't build it up again fast enough. And nobody was dealing with Fukule at all. So Fukule had free reign, got the eliminations, targeting the back lines. They couldn't even stay on the objective, and then eventually was able to get that point for free. So a blunder of epic proportions from Stevenson. They're not too worried, though, because still not as much time available for Boston University. But a couple of different options that they need to change up, and maybe the Final Judgment for Kitty Swag could be the difference maker here.
Yeah, Shoho. Meteor M coming up at about 30%. Fukule had to swap over the mag now, but because he doesn't have Meteor M, I don't really know what's going to happen. I think In Your Area is probably going to pop the Invisible Boundary for this. Never mind, we're actually going to see the Luna Snow Ultimate come in as a response here. Vision looking for an angle with the Galactic Legend, but mind you, watch Jeff also has Final Judgment available. CZ's going to respond in kind with their own Between Both Worlds. Inside Abduction put on top with the Galactic Legend. That's a lot used by Stevenson and for a whole lot of nothing.
They got 0 value, unfortunately, again, out of their ultimates, and that seems to be a constant issue for Stevenson University. We saw inklings of that in point 2 on domination for Krakoa, and now it's just exacerbated to the 10th degree on this next team fight. So we see a lot of good ultimates available for Boston University. I know I was saying, you know, Dr. Daly might have been a better option to use their ult sooner, but I'm liking the pacing of the ultimate usage from Boston University. They're timing them properly. The Meteor M was wasted by Shoho there. Instead, yes, they did get 1 elimination from it, but it still looks to be in favor of Boston University, especially if they can deal with the back line. Unfortunately, they can't, so we'll have to back off for now. But Dr. Daly, if they could get in time to use the Hand of Conchu, might create some space for them.
Yeah, has to drop it on the card here. Squink popping that between both worlds, gonna allow the rest of his team to at least stall while they can. Hand of Khonshu finally comes down. In your area has invisible boundary as well. Acclamation goes down. No sign of seduction for them. Sizzy is super low, and with no strategy ultimates for Stevenson,
So much.
Boston University,
Okay, admit it.
during both overtimes, will get these points.
Checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Well played.
I feel like Stevenson need to use the combo of the Meteor M and the Ensong Inferno. That does burst through Luna ult, and we have not seen them use
everything.
it ever. So I feel like that would be the difference maker here, because this Luna ult has just kept the team of Boston University alive time and time again. If you can use it properly that way, then you can do some great teamwork and basically eliminate their survivability to the 10th degree themselves, because we keep seeing all main using their ultimate to move downwards with, or move forwards, excuse me, with the convoy itself, and there hasn't been any sort of counter from Stevenson. Kraken Impact might be able to do something though if they can stay alive with it and get some good re-ups afterwards. Really curious on the combination of these ultimates though. This might be the time to use it before they get their ultimates.
Legendary in a really awkward spot here, right? And we're also going to burn the Kraken Impact. It will get all the elims they need, but Stevenson burning both duelist ultimates. I feel like you need that for this last fight here, but they're going to rely on the strat ultimates, and Shoho specifically with that Meteor M will be able to do much. Acclamation is swapped over to the Angela. Maybe they're looking for an off-map Abyss takedown here. Dr. Daly, though, Hand of Khonshu available, will most likely drop it onto this point to give his team some space.
Ooh, that's huge actually. So they can use the grapple to take them off the objective. They are using the Meteor M just to counter Kitty Sweat because they saw how effective they were being on the point, which I think is a useful usage of it. Sizzy realizing, hey, actually the Luna Snow ult is really good, so let's use it ourselves to stay on at the point. And you kind of have to go Luna Snow to Luna Snow if you want to counter it as best as possible. The freeze onto the Magneto, though, so they can't even stay alive. That's a tough spot to be in for Stevenson University. A couple ultimates that they can use, Invisible Boundary, notably one of them for both sides. We do see the Heaven's Retribution coming through from Acclamation, but I think that was a bit of a waste, especially with the Spinal Judgment that can completely burst through. It gets one KO, gets a second, might be able to get a third to clean things up and send us to overtime. We're almost there, but nobody's on the objective. Really, two people remaining on it for Stevenson University, and Vision can't even do much. They're trying to build up their ultimate in time, but they're giving them free reign with the point.
Shoho had Meteor M, is holding on for I don't know what. Could have popped it to keep his team alive. Galactic Legend is available. Sonic Seduction is going to be used to counter in kind. Here comes the Kraken Impact. Jeff does take down Vision, but Kitty gets the reset. Let's see if he can get more. Sizzy takes down Jeff as well. And Boston University are so close, but Kitty is going to reset with the Kraken Impact and dash away any of Boston University's hopes here and take a 2-map lead in this best of 5.
Kitty MVP is all I got to say. They're the reason that they got to the third checkpoint. They're the reason we didn't see Boston University get there. Yeah, that's exactly why, right?
Jesus.
They were able to just decimate the ranks of Boston University, and this is exactly why you need a strong duelist lineup, especially in collegiate. 50 eliminations is insane, and as you mentioned, all of the finals coming through from them at the end. They were the difference maker for their team. 48,000 damage is insane.
Yeah, definitely an MVP performance here. 50, 10, and 9, 31 finals. I mean, put the team on his back. Like, there's no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, all of Stevenson just got into Kitty's backpack, and they were carried to this victory. I felt like the ultimate usage was a little bit iffy, but the reason it didn't matter is because when Kitty would pop their ultimate, it was bound to get at least
Massive
1 to 2
value.
finals every single time. So it didn't matter how much they overinvested. It really looked like there for a second, Boston University were going to push us to that overtime. But yeah, the fact that they weren't able to take down Acclamation, who was flying in the sky, contesting the point, despite Shoho not, using the Magneto ultimate, the Meteor M, I mean, just goes to show, like, Boston University, the target selection was always a little bit iffy. I even saw it in the domination maps where some of them were kind of like, looking around, looking on who to burst down here. And that reared its ugly head here in this final point where Acclamation was free to contest for a while.
A tough spot to find themselves in because Boston University were that close both maps in a row from getting the victory. So maybe they can turn things around here again on Convoy. But we are going to head to a quick break. After that, we'll be back with map number 3.
I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself.
Frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
Stevenson University currently need just one more map for their first overall set win in NECC Marvel Rivals Collegiate. I'm Vodable. We got Chibi here again, likely going to a convoy map here for the next one. Chibi, what do you want to see in terms of convoy?
Well, because we can't get Museum of Contemplation, unfortunately, which is by far one of my favorite maps in the game, even though it's only been out for a little bit. Honestly, I'd be down for some Yggdrasil Path. I think that map is pretty good here, but instead, throw that all out the window because we are getting Spider Islands. A good map with a lot of verticality, good for Dive, good for Loki, good for Moon Knight as well. I feel like a lot of different, strategies or heroes can work here.
Yeah, especially when it comes to taking people off the map. That's a big thing you can do on this map specifically. So we're probably going to see an Angela ban at this time instead of the Mantis is what I would predict if you are Boston University because of how effective that Angela had been. And it seemed like not necessarily a one trick, you could say, but a favorite from the side of Stevenson University, right? So could easily see that be a focus for them this time around instead of the typical. Because, if they have Mantis, you can play Mantis too, right? Because of how these MRC ban and protects work. But I think they might be swapped again because Boston University has been consistent. Actually, no, it's not then because the Angela ban has come out. So it was going to be Stevenson this time banning the Gambit. So no Angela available for Stevenson University. That's a huge change up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they leave the Groot open as well, I'm not sure if they're willing to do that. I feel like that petty ban was very ill-advised. They're going to save Mr. Jeff here. Does this indicate that we might see some Deadpool potentially, which we haven't seen yet this series? I wouldn't be surprised if some of these more, younger kind of collegiate players haven't figured out the meta just yet competitively, right? Like they haven't really had the time to pick up Deadpool, who's the newest hero in the game. I'd figure because they're balancing like school and stuff like that, but instead we're banning Hulk.
There's a cart lover fan out there, I guess, on Boston University.
Beast.
You guys do your research, is what they said. Okay. They like playing Hulk on this map, it seems. So that might be why the Hulk ban comes through. So yeah, calling them out on it too. Dr. Daly in the chat is hilarious. The Hella bans are consistent though. Even if they didn't get it the first time because it wasn't saved, the Star-Lord still has been a favorite on Stevenson University's end. They are going to lock in that Phoenix. Just too good. I mean, on any map, especially this one with the long sight lines that you can have from it. Especially when you're on that like first point right out of the spawn room trying to play on defense. The Bucky works so well, which I get why you'd want to lock it in. But I don't think we're going to see a universe where Boston University banned it per se, because even the Psylocke was doing some great value in the backline too. Rocket Raccoon, so you don't have to worry about the damage boost from that. But notably, Mantis has gone through unbanned so far. Do we see it from Boston University, or is it going to be available for triple strategists here on Stevenson? No, they are going to ban it. They do not want to see it whatsoever, and I get it.
You'll need a top-notch team
Removing
to
that,
win this one.
but not removing the Loki is very interesting. I think Spider Islands, quite arguably, is his best map. There are so many wild and crazy Loki spots here with how you can throw the clones on the high ground. There's like random buildings, indestructible terrain, a lot of crazy stuff that can happen. And Loki becomes really, really tough to track down here. So I'm really interested to see if either one of these teams are going to use it or both of these teams are going to use it.
I think the big thing with Loki is that for MRC bans, if you are confident in your Loki play, you don't care if the other team is playing it right. But if you have Ignite bans, you have to make sure it's one-sided. You do not want it to just be available to your opponents. And typically we do see double Loki bans on that end in like the professional scene. Like, we saw so much of it this past weekend for the Mega Monthly. So we see the thing come out again. They know that they don't have to really save that on Boston University because it hasn't been a focus from Stevenson. Kitty Swag, though, on the ranked warrior here with the Hawkeye. I mean, people have been playing through the ladder have been realizing that those have been banned. That's great. Realizing you can't play the Hulk, so you're going to destroy the plushie. Oh, man. Sad times.
Unfortunate. But Boston University on the defensive here. Stevenson, like you said, Kitty Swag on the Hawkeye,
like the
the ranked warrior. Yeah, the bubble plus charge is pretty interesting. And Daft Malade is going to be subbing in for Boston University Red here. Maybe a different look as I say that, though. My bad. Sorry.
I mean, Daft probably was that Hulk player, which is why they went for the ban on that, right? Would have been a better option if you are subbing someone in who might be more of a focus on a specific hero to save that instead. But they went for the Dr. Daly Jeff save on the back end. I don't think we are going to see a Jeff ban either, so I don't know. Maybe trying to suss things out a bit, seeing that they've played it before, realizing that Jeff is annoying to play on this map because there's so many different ledges you can take the enemy team off of. So
yeah,
that could be part of the reasoning why they just want to make sure that they had that available to them. And yeah, you don't have the Deadpool team up, but neither of these teams seem to be as familiar. Hunter Sight, though, coming through for Kitty Swag, does get the elimination. And yeah, you can use it on the Loki clones as well, but it still makes it difficult for the other team. Visible boundaries, slowing things down. So Jeff can't swim. Is going to get the shotgun blast.
Big eat potential here. As I say that, gets 3.
Huge.
I think he's going to take him to the edge. Goodbye.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, because they have invis, right?
Did the
She
360.
can jump back. Yeah, I like that. 360, no scope, Jeff off the map. I'm putting that in my montage.
You know that they are as well. And that's probably why they wanted to go to this map, was for the Jeff specifically. So I like the combo that we're seeing from them too. Daft isn't doing too bad here on the Thing, and I think because Thing just has massive value, especially with the vulnerability leap that they can give onto an AoE of your opponent's. Clobbering time also good to stun and combo with anything else. Oh no, Jeff goes down, so they won't have one of those 3 strategists backing them up. Neither will them have the Final Judgment.
Oh,
Legend wasted, and there's the dunk. Fakule takes out Vision.
Oh, Fakule faked him out too. He's like, no, actually, I'm not going to go for you. Wait. You're right in my face. And he throws the Meteor M right onto Vision. Unfortunately, though, Kitty Swag is absolutely running a clinic right now. Just destroying Boston University.
Massive for Jeff Can't Swim here, though. Getting back into the fray. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get a single elimination off of it, so a bit of a wasted ultimate. It does push them off the objective, at least for a little bit. Yeah, for the zoning, but I don't think that's really going to worry them too much. They still have a minute to go. They're trying to get that next objective. They have 2 ultimates in their bank. If they use the Meteor M, they could actually use it to initiate, but I think they're wanting to hold on to that just as a counter than anything else.
Yeah, especially to in-your areas, you know, Cloak and Dagger ult that should be coming out pretty soon. Here comes the Eternal Bond. Fear Magneto in response. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the dunk. Unfortunately, tries to throw it onto the turret. Whiffs it, though, and Daft and the gang from Boston University take this team fight. Fakule swapping over to the Doctor Strange. Portaled back in, I believe, so they can contest this point.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Like, just get back on the objective so that they can't really push forward. Getting them all the way back to their own spawn as well, so they can't even go for their own portal play either. So this is a huge change-up for Boston University. This was a great counter pick for them. It seems like this is their map to win. So Stevenson University, 10 seconds left for them to get onto the objective and hold things down. Daft has been the difference maker here on the Thing. They didn't have their main Thor, but it doesn't really matter. The Thing's even better, especially in this meta. Oh, no.
Oh, the eat?
Nah, they went through the portal in time.
Too little, too late. Jeff whips. Big Eye of Agamotto from Fakule, unfortunately, does not do anything. No follow-up, actually. And Stevenson University, during this overtime, are going to look to win this team fight. Although Squink has Invisible Barrier. So maybe... Whoa, the movement from Jeff!
That was cheeky, but unfortunately couldn't stay alive to touch point. So first objective does eventually go to Stevenson. A lot of time wasted, which is good for the side of Boston University. But it really comes down to how they're going to be using their ultimates here next. So waiting for the final judgment at some moment. They should know that the ultimates aren't available to Stevenson if they timed it properly, but they're probably worried about that Meteor M coming out.
Daft Malade, 10% on that clobbering time, just forcing this Psylocke out of the flank, doing his job, being the bodyguard for BU. And Jeff Can't Swim is going to pop that final judgment, hopefully maybe to confirm some eliminations. Acclamation just drops the Meteor M on him, while Kitty Swag is just going to solo ult Daphmalade. No, that's disrespectful.
Gets a double from it too. This was a good change-up for Kitty Swag. We saw how effective the Psylocke was last time, and they didn't really have a counter against it, especially on Central Park. So I like the change-up here. A good change of pace, and sometimes that's what you need. You know, if one hero's not working for you, swap things up. Saw how it worked last time. Gets this flank, goes invisible, goes towards the back line, sees if they can get anyone, but actually dashes into the pole. Luckily for them, they didn't get taken out for it, so we'll have to back off, at least for now. Double invisible boundaries duel each other, and now we go toe-to-toe to see who's going to get the most effective ult off, and that was a great elimination onto Dart.
Yeah, really good Maelstrom of Madness, and he's going to drop Eye of Ashanti. Only lands onto Fakule, though, and with Mr. In Your Area popping that Eternal Bond, Acclamation unfortunately did use that Meteor M to dunk Jeff Can't Swim. As I say that, though, he does go down. Still a numbers advantage for Stevenson, but that Eternal Bond is proving very, very useful. Dr. Daly on this Jeff. Yeah, clobbering time. Maybe we can see Eye of Agamotto on top. Lands only onto Shoho, though. Does take down Kitty Swag in the process, though, with that Maelstrom of Madness. And Dr. Daly still has the Jeff ult on this overtime situation. Could prove the difference maker here.
I think it is going to be the difference. I don't think they have enough time to get back, especially with Vision just trying to get back all the way to their spawn to stay alive. But they have 10 seconds, and I don't think that's going to be enough for them to even get a portal off at the last moment. So this should be a full hold here unless Kitty Swag does something. But need to touch desperately. There is one last portal. The Jeff trying to see if they can get there in time. But the bubble was perfect to protect them, so the portal does still go off. They are able to get at least 2 members off the point and stall it for now. But the portal at least is going to get them to the objective.
Yeah, but with 2 members down, they're going into this as a 4v6.
Oh, that's it.
Numbers are important. Dr. Daly, just like we had anticipated, that Jeff ult becoming so crucial. Mag ended up bubbling to Strange, but forgot to bubble himself.
Oh, that's so rough. Unfortunately, they just panicked at the end when they saw the circle of doom right underneath their noses, and they could not come up with a strategy in time. So that just goes to show why it's dangerous to play Doctor Strange just by themselves rather than saving them for the portal play, right? Because they had to waste so much time getting to the objective afterwards that it gave the Jeff enough of a setup buffer for them to go for the It's Jeff Eats. So a good look from Boston University Red to turn things around and hoping to extend this series in kind if they can keep it going. Stevenson University have their work cut out for them, but at least they have more of a buffer than they did last time, right? It looked like they were about to have things ended before that first checkpoint, and that would have been dire straits for them to stop things.
100% here, and this triple strat composition from Boston University is proving pretty tough to handle, and I think Kitty Swag is potentially going on to Strategist. I don't know if I like this, but he might be playing the Atom here. They might be going Loki, Cloak, and Atom, but guys, Kitty Swag, where are you?
That bird remembers everything. After you picked him clean.
Guess we'll see.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Adam Warlock, yep,
1.
like we were talking about before. So this is the strategy. Unfortunately, they do not have their movement yet, so it's going to take them a long time to get to the objective. So we'll see this push come through already from Boston University, and Kitty Swag could have been building up ult charge. Maybe just took a little bit too much time to figure out exactly what they want to use here on the hold.
Nice grab onto Fakule. Unfortunately, is able to just jump out there. Really good protection from Daft to go in with the Yancey Street charge as well as protecting their fellow Vanguard. I believe Kitty Swag is finally here, so it's a full 6v6, but I like this Punisher of different variation of breaking this 3-3 comp, and Mr. In Your Area does take down Shoho. Won't be able to TP back, so he's going to take the long walk back to point. Trades Daphmalade, though, and Eye of Agamotto already comes in from Fakule. Lands onto 3 on Stevenson University. That was a really fast Eye.
Oh, and they noticed that nobody was playing Invisible Woman for some reason on the side of Stevenson, so that gave them free reign to use the Eye of Agamotto, especially with Shoho not even available on the point. So maybe not the best composition that they could have gone for when trying to go for a full hold here. And we kind of saw some awkward full hold comps from Stevenson last time, right? So it's just a tough spot to find themselves in. Some offbeat rotations onto the objective where Kitty Swag wasn't able to build up their ult like they wanted to. Portal does come through, though, from Vision to get them back onto the objective here, I believe. So they do have the Eye of Agamotto, but both them and Show are down. All of the ults getting popped here to get them back into the fight. We'll see if the turret can do anything just to keep that damage going.
I believe Daily actually ended up only taking out a Loki clone. Big clobbering time, though, from Daphmalade onto Stevenson University. Copy was used from Squink just to ensure the point capture here, but I don't think needed it. Jeff can't swim, ended up going down, so there's no duelist available for Boston University Red, but a lot of Stevenson has gone to the wayside. They're walking back here.
Oh, no.
I don't think they're going to be able to contest this point. Yeah,
the backline's completely gone. So Stevenson University drops another objective to Boston University Red, and it seems to just be their map. Like, they know this like the back of their hands, and it's one of the maps that's been around the longest in Marvel Rivals competitive. So it makes sense if you have a full strategy for it, go for it. And I like to see this from them. Goes to show why Boston University were able to get a win in a 3-0 sweep before. They don't want to go down in a sweep. Even if they can at least get a map against Stevenson, that's huge for them. But I'm really curious on what the next map potentially could be. Still sticking with the composition, though. Stevenson, Joe swapping, though, over to the Moon Knight. Might be a bit of a difference maker, but we do have the water gun bazookas coming through for the final judgment here by Jeff Can't Swim, sending them to swim with the fishes themselves, but didn't get the eliminations that they wanted. Agamotto still going to get some big hits with it, and they need to have an invisible woman to counter it.
Yeah, the fact that they don't have it, popping that eternal bond here.
Too
Dr.
late.
Daily does find, yeah, it's way too late. And Sizzy, unfortunately, not able to copy Adam here. I think maybe they want to use the res. Instead, he's going to use the self-res. Shoho dropped that Moon Knight ult like you mentioned, but nobody has really dealt with Daphmalade, who is just running interference. Dr. Daly as well has the Jeff ult. Squink is going to copy the eternal bond.
The thing?
Yeah, Sizzy, I love that. Taking matters into his own hands, saying, you know what, I'll just be the DPS for my team. I'll be the Vanguard. I'll bring everything to the table. As we say that, though, greens do get used. Dr. Daly still has that Jeff ult, can use it to contest here. Maybe looking for another overtime eat so that his team can just secure the victory here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that happen. Kitty Swag, though, does have their revival available to them, but no other ultimates on the table now. So if they deal with Kitty Swag, they'll be in the clear to take this objective. Eye of Agamotto comes flying. Finally, MP3 player realized that they would get more value blocking those Eye of Agamottos than anything else. That is 3. A massive eat from Dr. Daly sends them packing off the edge of the cliff, and this might be all that they need for the victory.
Yeah, that's everything. No res coming out from Kitty Swag here. Portal is not going to be fast enough, and Boston University
Huge.
backs against the wall. They come in with the victory on their map pick, but that means we reset. Potentially domination, convergence, whatever. But Stevenson University gonna have to take a good, hard look at what they've been banning here. Maybe the Jeff deserves a ban. I also will say, I think you're completely right.
That's
Fukule
specific.
got way too many Doctor Strange ultimates for them to not swap to Invis immediately.
Yeah.
Stevenson, their hard-headedness, in my opinion, being their downfall.
Yeah, they didn't swap soon enough. They were going for the full hold strategy after the first point, and that just doesn't work on most maps, unfortunately for them. So the triple strategist lineup did not work out as well as they wanted. So back to the books they go to figure out what they need to do for the victory. Domination could be their strong suit here. Who knows? I'm really curious on what they're going to focus on. Because we saw some sparks of brilliance, right, from Boston University in all maps, and some struggles from both them and Stevenson. So it hasn't been perfect play, which makes sense. This is Division 3, right? This isn't Division 1, where you typically see the highest level of competition. So some of these teams maybe come from just playing ranked a little bit, haven't scrimmed as much, and then realize, okay, this, and this we got to move on and work upon in the future. This is only week 2, right? Still a couple more weeks of competition until we get to those championships and the nationals themselves. So time to improve for these teams. But if you're Stevenson, you cannot afford to lose this series. You'll be down 0-2 to start off the semester, and that's not where you want to find yourselves in here for Marvel Rivals Collegiate.
Yeah, Stevenson up 2-0. and hopefully, praying that they don't get reverse swept on, because that's obviously mentality breaker. Maybe it was just a momentum swing for Boston University. Stevenson going to be able to come back on their map pick, but not after a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon.
I don't know why I let you, but you had to light a spark in me. Lost control, falling over, getting pulled in by your gravity. Thought that I had figured it out, never felt it rationally, but this sense of urgency has me wondering. Thought that I had figured it out, nothing could get through to me, but this kind of chemistry has me wondering. When you're not around it, all goes black and white. How come I'm not seeing in color? Lost without you, I can't make it through the night. How come I'm not seeing in color?
Welcome back, everyone, to NECC's Marvel Rivals Collegiate. I'm Vaudable. We got Shivy here yet again, and we just saw Boston University Red take down Stevenson University to get at least one fight left in them, potentially. We'll see if they can go for the reverse sweep, though, and that's what they have to do in these last two maps if they want to come out on top and stay alive with a 2-0 series record, I guess you could say, for league play in, I think it's the Eastern Conference Division 3 matchups they are in. But Stevenson University, I think they took a little bit of a breather so that they could figure out what map they want to go to and focus down on the bans and protects that they need to go for, because unfortunately last time it didn't really work out for them. And Hala de Jalia is going to be the one we go to this time. Okay, I like it.
Convergence map for Stevenson University. They did.
Never mind.
It's not. I think it's Burn into T'Challa.
T'Challa, probably. Yeah.
It's probably Burn into T'Challa.
Probably Burn into T'Challa. It's all good. We knew what the production was putting down.
Yeah. I had figured it out. We predicted potentially it was going to be a domination map because Stevenson did look so good on it. And honestly, Boston University looked a little bit uncomfortable with the pacing of domination. I think that's the big thing, right? Their ultimate usage was a little bit off. It still kind of showed its head here, even on Spider Islands, where they would overinvest. You saw the Loki committing copies when it wasn't really needed. But because they had 3 strategist ultimates, committing one early or in a bad way didn't really affect them as much as it normally would.
I'm just curious what comps are going to be seeing here. Angela probably still going to be banned, right? Angela's really good on this map. So I think if you're first banning, if you are Boston University, you focus on that again, because you don't have to worry too much about that. Getting rid of the Angela gets rid of the Thor. We saw how effective the Thor was with the Angela before. And since the Angela has been banned, we haven't really seen that from the side of Stevenson University. So getting rid of 2 birds with 1 stone is massive in terms of the MRC bans, because, again, it is universally banned. Something banned for everyone, save something saved for everyone on that side. So I've been really liking kind of the back and forth we've been seeing between these two teams. But really goes to show, like, man, Daft must be really good on Hulk if they're already that good on Thing, right? And they focused on the Hulk over the Thing for the ban.
Yeah. Thing connoisseur, Hulk connoisseur, very respectable Vanguard player, fair Marvel rivals, some would say, but
a little biased.
If they're gonna, maybe just a little bit, just a tad bit. I don't like Emma. I'm an Emma hater. It's very, very publicly known.
Just a hero.
Just a hero. I actually think as a character in Marvel, like the universe, she's very, very complex and very, very interesting. I think her in the X-Men universe is really cool. But that's all another story that we can save for later. As we do get into the pick and bans, Boston University got to take the Gambit away immediately. Wonder if Stevenson is going to take the Jeff out, or if they're going to opt in for something else.
That is a good question. I think the Jeff would be a smart ban on their side of things. Again, looking back to what they banned before, they were the ones who focused on the Gambit and then the Hulk last time. But this might be swapped then. I think this is swapped again because they would not ban their own Angela. So Boston University on left, Stevenson University on the right side. Shout out production. I mean, they swap sides so often it's hard to keep up with, honestly. But yeah, getting rid of the Angela, saving the Jeff, that is the way to go. And that's tough for Stevenson, because they are on the B side, they don't have that option to, potentially let Gambit through and go for a different kind of ban. They're saving the hell of this time. The hell has been banned every single time. So I'm curious what the strategy is here. Maybe Hella Namor. If I was Boston University, I would ban the Namor this time. So Invisible Woman's going to be banned, so that does mean we will see a lot of Aya of Agamotto's, but because they didn't lock in the Star-Lord, they're banning the Star-Lord on the other side. So interesting back and forth between these two, but I feel like the Invisible Woman ban benefits Boston University more, Shivy.
Especially Fokule, right? Who's just getting massive Eye of Agamotto's.
Boston University is just winning in this ban phase. What is happening?
Ooh, there's the Hulk save. I'm excited. I love casting Hulk. It's probably one of the most fun heroes to look at. But it is going to be tough to play Hulk into potentially Hella Namor, the Bucky that gets saved. There's Emma is still on the board, right? Angela being removed is really good, but you've also got a multitude of other things. Like Hulk's biggest counter is just CC, crowd control in general. And unfortunately for Marvel Rivals, there's a ton of
Tons.
crowd control in the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
getting rid of the Luna
lots.
Snow is massive. I think Luna Snow was like a huge difference maker in the strategist lineup for Boston University. So not having that on the table means that you get rid of two of the best strategists for Boston University. Cloak and Dagger, they're definitely going to lock in on having that available to them, and the Loki most likely with the Jeff, of course. But yeah, getting rid of the Mantis, they don't want that in the triple strategist, but that does mean Stevenson University gets Groot available to them if they want to use that to stay alive against the Jeff. Potentially could be solved for that as well. A couple different options. They have the Namor, Hella Namor team up if they go that option as well. So we haven't really seen a Namor from Stevenson University, though. Namor nowadays, because of the buffs recently, is still good by themselves. So maybe they just are used to playing it with the team up, and that's the only reason why we haven't seen it is because of Hella bans, but who knows?
Yeah, also, Horn of Proteus, very, very good at countering Jeff. Like, I need to see something from Stevenson that says, hey, we are going to save this ultimate and this ultimate only for when Jeff ults. And every time he goes for our backline, I'm either dropping the Horn, I'm either going into the Goddess of Death. As we say that, though, Stevenson University, acclamation on the Magneto, Shoho, actually, on the Emma. And yeah, the two
Shoho.
duelists that they ended up saving. Shoho.
Yeah. Like Ho-Oh, like that, basically. I think that's what they're going for.
The two duelists, though, for Stevenson University, the ones that they saved or protected, are here. And I like the Cloak and Loki coming out from Stevenson, but Boston University, remember, the Rocket was banned out from Stevenson pretty
That's
consistently. It's the first time it's been let through. So now
Oh, man.
you get the
Zootopia
Animal Crossing backline. Yeah, or a Zootopia. Which one do you like calling it?
It's
I like calling
Zootopia
it.
because that is Disney.
There you go. It's Zootopia because it's Disney. Correct. And you get damage boosted Ensong Inferno, and you get Daphmalate on Hulk. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this thing. Can I see Hulk? Spectate Hulk now.
You sound like a kid who's like wanting their favorite toy.
Yes. Thank you, Observer. Thank you. Appreciate you. I just want to see this guy go crazy because it was banned out. So I really want to see how he's going to navigate into this composition that is so CC forward, right? Emma, Thing. You've got Namor and Hella being put in as well. Kitty Swag actually opting away for the Bucky that they originally had intended to play.
Yeah, there's the Hella Namor that we were talking about before and why it's so effective. So unfortunately, Daft not able to get as much usage out of the Hulk because they're getting targeted so much. And there is the Horde of Proteus. There is the Trident coming through, a triple in favor of Kitty Swag. And that goes to show how lethal this combination is.
Oh, yeah, and Kitty Swag has arguably been the best performing member on Stevenson for multiple maps in
Not
a row.
even arguably. It's just a fact.
Yeah, never mind. I was trying to leave some ambiguity, you know, like, hey, maybe there's somebody else out there. But yeah, it has been Kitty Swag, and giving him something like Namor with the Hella Namor team up, very, very destructive. Although Boston University, 5 ultimates to their name, going to open up with Eternal Bond. No Meteor M on the side of Stevenson, so Sizzy is going to have to copy it. But Daft takes down Kitty in the back end, as well as Mr. In Your Area takes down Vision. So despite the copy from Sizzy, I guess just nobody was on the red carpet.
No, nobody was really in position for it. It's Jeff comes through,
Bye, guys.
so both of the Vanguards
you can't
from
spit 'em out.
Stevenson University will go down here.
Oh, you
They
can?
if they do it right on the edge like that. Yeah, unfortunately, the thing was not facing the right position, so they could have Yancey's recharge backwards or even jumped towards them, but they were just maybe in La La Land thinking that they might just go off the edge instead. So could have saved themselves. Unfortunately, couldn't at the right timing, though. Facing the wrong direction. But they have a lot of ultimates in their bank, so really comes down to how this next team fight goes if they can win this first point.
Ensong Inferno plus CYA available. That's a really big 1-2 combo. Clobbering time comes in, though. Lands onto Dr. Daly. Here comes the CYA. Daphne's going to go into monster form. And we're also going to get Jeff Can't Swim popping the Ensong Inferno. But I don't think it was damage boosted because he was behind the wall when he ulted. And this Monster Hulk also gets burned immediately into the Bruce Banner form. So this is going to allow Stevenson to push in because they've only got one Vanguard on the side of Boston University. Sonic Seduction lands onto multiple members. You've got to back away. So really good job from Stevenson to kite out those ultimates. Heavy investment from Boston University for virtually nothing.
they wanted to hold them at bay and knew that if they were going to, they had to give it their all there, right? Especially with the difference in percentage from the start. They got themselves a decent amount, 55%, but already you can see it being matched by Stevenson University. So we'll see what Boston University can do here. Eternal Bond available to them, Meteor M as well. Some good looks on the other side too. Double Eternal Bonds available for Stevenson. So they have some good counters. We'll maybe see Terror Cape used in tandem with...
Oh
man, the Horn of Proteus there, focusing on the Jeff on the back line, so they don't even have the It's Jeff available.
Oh, you're going to get dunked, friend.
Yep.
There's nowhere for you to run. Unfortunately, the Eternal Bond has to be used from MP3 player. I guess a bait from Sizzy, if anything. Although Dr. Daly does have Jeff ultimate. Big clobbering time from Acclamation lands onto multiple members here. Unfortunately, no follow-up once again. Fokule takes down Vision. Percent is still ticking for Stevenson, who's inching towards that 99 percentile. Endsong Inferno for Jeff. Acclamation takes down Fokule. That's a big tank taken down here. Dr. Daly, though, does have the Jeff ult. Doesn't get anybody. Eats the clone, so whiffs here, unfortunately. I don't know if Boston University have enough gas left in the tank to keep contesting.
Just a correction on our part, too. It's Snipes instead of Vision of Snipes. They like to go by that. But regardless, though, Stevenson University looked really solid. I mean, I think the big thing is the ultimate usage, right? That was their struggle in previous maps on knowing when to use this properly and then having the Hella Namor available, right? So it makes it so that the healing reduction is there and makes it easier to burst through heroes like Hulk, even when they go into their World Breaker Hulk form. So tough spot to be in for Daft. I feel like they were even doing better on the thing last go around. So
I didn't want to say it.
Swap over to it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Looking a little tough on the Hulk. Maybe Stevenson University feared it for no reason. Maybe it was just like the aura. Like, oh man, this guy plays Hulk. Be careful. But whiffed ults from Boston University. I think the Ensong Inferno plus CYA combo that was supposed to happen didn't go through, which would have won them that team fight where they took really early on in that tunnel. Daft as well on the Monster Hulk, unable to get any of the juggles or any of the thunderclaps. So now Stevenson University come into this next fight with a lot to work with. Snipes as well has not used the Goddess of Death once. And unfortunately, because Jeff can't swim, has Ensong Inferno, it's a true counter, right? You just run the Phoenix into Snipes' own ult, and then you land on the enemy team, and you potentially get some eliminations.
Yeah, a lot of value from the Ensong Inferno against the Goddess of Death there. So we'll see it come out eventually. I'm expecting another Horn of Proteus to try and get a combo going there as well. I mean, Kitty Swag has been monumental for the team, but Dr. Daly focusing them down at this time. CYA comes through for the extra damage. They don't even need to use any other ultimates for Boston University, but they're going to use the Ensong Inferno just for extra measure. Even the Cloak can't really do as much as they were wanting to, but still not enough damage for the pick, but does put all the passives onto them, the Sparks, so they can at least explode those for extra AoE and chip explosion damage against Stevenson University. Pushing them back in that early percentage, just a much better positioning for Boston University than we saw in the last point.
Ooh, Monster Hulk coming in. A lot of closed corridors for Daft here, but he's playing a little bit more conscientious, right? Not diving in completely, doesn't want to get burned out, is a big tank. Dr. Daly does end up swallowing Acclamation here. That's going to take them off of the map, I believe. Yeah, Acclamation not going to opt in for the Meteor M to get back on the point. And so far, Stevenson University going similar to that first domination map where they dominated round one into almost completely whiffing round two so far. Boston University 50% on the board here and counting.
Yeah, great usage of ultimates. I think too many ultimates have been held by Stevenson University and not used at the right timing again. So too cognizant of when they are using their ultimates this time for Stevenson University. And I think they're giving a lot of respect to BU Red in this moment. A good snipe on to Jeff Can't Swim for the elimination. But there is the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier coming through. The Magneto can't do as much damage against it, unfortunately, there. So it's just going to stay up for the maximum amount of time.
Yeah, desperately trying to take it out here. Daft Malade, unfortunately, does get bursted out here. Nice Eternal Bond coming in from Stevenson to flip the point here, but interested to see what they're going to have in store when Mr. Jeff Can't Swing on this Phoenix pops the Ensong Inferno. Acclamation has been holding on to that Meteor M. I think this time around will try to dunk it onto Daly so he doesn't get ulted here. Shoho has been liked to commit these Psionic Vortexes a little bit early, wondering if they're going to try to combo it with this Goddess of Death here that Snipes has ready in the bank, about 4%.
Ooh, has to back off, though, completely. So a tough spot to find themselves in for Stevenson. The ultimates do come through. Eternal Bond, Meteor M is not going to be used, actually, to counter it out. So they're just going to let them have the walk for free. Rez comes through, onto Jeff can't swim, so that Elim is a moot point.
There we go.
It's Jeff, though, and it gets 3. Oh, but there's a great counter from the Horn of the Horn of Proteus. I almost said Horn of Khonshu. It felt like a Hand of Khonshu of how deadly it was against the Jeff. That was a great counter.
Acclamation also used the Meteor M, so I don't know if they were communicating on what was being used. Daphmalade on the Monster Hulk, though. A lot of HP. 900 so far has been bursted down from his 15. Is causing destruction. Takes down Kitty Swag despite getting grabbed. Nice thunderclap. No TP available. And Stevenson University overcommitting ultimates for nothing.
Oh, as you say that, though, they do get an elimination onto Dr. Daly. Acclamation gets one as well, and they're quickly turning things around in their favor. What is happening for Boston University? They need to get the KO, onto the Hulk here. Daft, unfortunately, for the side of Stevenson, was able to stay alive the entire time and just push them off the objective. They C9'd it.
I think Stevenson is flubbing a little bit, whiffing potentially, as we do see a quick snapshot. Vision of Snipes 5 finals, Kitty Swag on the 10. Yeah, I mean, that's just a communication error. If you're going to counter Jeffel, going 2 for 1 is a better value play for Boston University. Sure, Jeff goes down, but no Meteor M, no Horn means that Stevenson University can take the ensuing fight or the next one with way more resources. I really confused on what Stevenson was doing there. Maybe Acclamation didn't know that Kitty Swag had the Horn of Proteus, or maybe Kitty Swag was building towards it and just dropped it at the last second. Definitely need to tighten that up, in my opinion, because if they play like that, Boston University will take us to a map 5, and the curse will continue for us, Vaudeville.
We shall see if the curse does continue shipping the constant map 5s from last semester going into this one. But I think it just goes to show how close these two teams are, right? Neither of them playing perfect Marvel Rivals, as we like to say, but they are playing scrappy, and it makes it entertaining. I mean, it's great where you don't know for sure which team is going to come out on top, and on a dime, something can flip in favor of one squad or another. I mean, both those first 2 maps could have easily gone the way of Boston University, and we could have had a 3-0 sweep if 1 or 2 of the team fights went differently, and if Kitty Swag specifically didn't pop off the way that they did. So now we got to see what they can do here. If they're just going to continue to hold on to the Horn of Proteus the way that they have been. Great snipe on to Swink, but unfortunately for them, there is that res beacon.
And Daphmalade just punching through the front line of Stevenson. The guy only knows W key. He's just jumping forward here. Big Ensong Inferno. Don't know if it needed to be committed, but does win Boston University that fight. I don't like this Horn of Proteus, but Kitty Swag seems to like these odds. Takes down 2. Maybe will allow Stevenson to come back here off the tempo play. Both strategists, Dr. Daly and Squink, are down, but I don't think Stevenson can move fast enough. Yeah, they can't move fast enough.
It was a cheeky play, but I don't think it gave them enough value, unfortunately, for the usage of it. If the rest of their team was in position to move forward, potentially, but they took too long, lagging behind. And also, yeah, maybe a Strange Portal would have been the play, but we just haven't seen that from these teams using the Strange Portal aggressively like that. They've usually just been used towards overtime, where most teams are most comfortable with playing the Doctor Strange in that way. So unfortunately for them, they are catching these hands from Daft. They'll go into World Breaker form and is going to terrorize the back line. They can't do really anything to escape him as well. They have to pop the Eternal Bond just to stay alive. So all moving forward to the objective, but as they use the Eternal Bond, the It's Jeff is shielded. They'll take them off the map, and I don't think if you can easily deposit them there. Oh no, they still go out. They couldn't swap over to Cloak fast enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why when you ult, you must ult in Cloak form, because then you can fade away any sort of counterattack. That is arguably one of the biggest mistakes that Cloak and Dagger players will make at any level, is that they will ult in their Dagger form and then just get absolutely blitzed, whether it's a, Ensong Inferno, whether it's a Jeff ultimate, a Magneto, a Meteor M, anything. Really tough for Stevenson University. They do have a bevy of ults to work with, but Boston University do have a good chunk themselves. CYA available along with the Ensong Inferno. It's really hard to mess that up as it can get damage boosted. Grab onto the Hulk here. CYA comes in. Meteor M is damage boosted, mind you. Might be able to burst this guy down. Unfortunately, Bubble does come in for Stevenson University. But all the meanwhile, Vision of Snipes goes down. Sizzy takes down Jeff Can't Swim, so that's a duelist down for Boston University. The one they have, no res available. Kitty Swag's gonna drop the Horn of Proteus. This time, unfortunately, unable to get anybody. All the meanwhile, Daphmalade is just punching through the rest of Stevenson. And with 3 strategists there to back him, he's just not gonna go down. Big potential Jeff ult. Unfortunately, only swallows a teammate, so that's not really that good.
And unfortunately as well on the side of Stevenson, Vision of Snipes, immediately their ultimate goes down and is bursted. So the value that we've seen from Stevenson in the ultimate has been a moot point. We haven't seen them be able to get any eliminations off of it recently, especially on this 3rd capture point. Hope's gotten their ultimate so consistently. I think this is the 2nd time in this team fight alone that they have gotten theirs, but it does get bursted completely down by that Sonic Seduction. That's the best one we have seen from Shoho, and yeah, forcing the reset, not want to get staggered. I respect that from Daphmalade on that play, but again, perfect Marvel Rivals have to be played by Stevenson, and Kitty Swag specifically needs to step up for this team. That's 2 Horn of Produces in a row that really haven't given them much.
Has built up another one relatively quickly. Maybe that's an ultimate that Rivals needs to look at, because I don't know why. I feel like these Namors have been hitting it relatively good. And oh my god, he's dropping it onto all the strategists. Just takes down Dr. Daly. And unfortunately, the res comes in. Squeak does get res. Vision of Snipes takes down Fakule. And Sizzy copied the Eternal Bond, runs himself into a wall.
Oh, thankfully enough, though, that they weren't getting pushed by Boston University, so still earning them some time, but a lot of ultimates used just to get towards 50%. And yeah, as you mentioned, a bit of a waste. Does create some more space for them, of course, so maybe felt confident that way, and that MP3 player could build their ultimate fast enough, but looking on the other side of things, strategist ults are going to be one-sided for Boston University. Yeah, big elim onto Fakule, but I think it's also a moot point, right? There's still 40% have to be made up by Stevenson University. They need to win 2 more team fights at least to come out on top.
That's assuming a Strange Portal doesn't come into overtime. And Boston University, I think, know this. Dr. Daly building towards that Jeff ult. Fakule and Jeff both have Ensong Inferno and Meteor M. That's the combo that we need to see. Vision probably going to look to burn this Goddess of Death early, at least to buy some percentage. Maybe force out the Ensong Inferno. Eternal Bond comes in for Squink. Acclamation. A little too early, brother. Unfortunately, isn't able to take him down. Daft, in the meanwhile, does go down. There was no res beacon. That is a Vanguard down for Boston University Red. Eternal Bond coming in from MP3 player Fakule, and Ensong Inferno finally coming in, and unfortunately misses onto Vision of Snipes. Don't think it's going to do too much, though. Unfortunately, that Goddess of Death not able to confirm anything. Dr. Daly, in the meantime, took down MP3 player in the meantime. But this Boston University is falling to the wayside. Squeak has already swapped over to Dr. Strange and Stevenson University from 99.0%, by the way. They come in with the win and take the map.
And the series from that as well. Stevenson University out of nowhere take down BU Red. It felt like that 3rd point was Boston University's, but it just seemed like the stagger was too much. There wasn't the res beacons in place that they needed, and unfortunately the synergy and the pressure was not there from Boston University. So Stevenson University, they get away with murder, it feels like, in this last point, and they will take the victory 3-1, but a hard-fought one at that.
Highway robbery. Stevenson University come away with a 3-1. Kitty Swag dropping 22 finals, doubling Vision of Snipes, their duelist duo counterpart, however you want to say. And, I mean, series MVP is for sure Kitty. It's no one else. It's unanimous.
It has to be, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful play from Kitty Swag, showing the flexibility on a multitude of different duelists. Even opted in for the Thor at one point in map 1. Did really well on that. So, very well played to Stevenson University. Believe, Vaudable, they've picked up their first win, according to you?
Yeah, both of them now 1-1, moving on to week number 3. So still a lot to make up for both these teams. But if this is how strong these two Div 3 teams are, I can't wait to see the other two that we'll be seeing after this. That's Grizz Maroon versus GCU Purple. It's going to be a pretty great one, Shibby.
Yeah, congratulations once again to Stevenson University. 3-1 victory over Boston University. Still a lot to learn. Bit of rough around the edges for both of these teams in terms of Marvel rivals, but that's why we compete. That's why we play. And I love seeing these two teams. Like you said, I think scrappy was the best word used there. Very good description. But with that series concluding, we do have one more coming up in about 5 to 7 minutes as we get these two teams set up. So this time you can go grab a snack, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, because we're going to go on a bit of a longer break, but come right back for Series 2 of the NECC Marvel Rivals Week 2 action.
you explore imperfect visions like I've been here before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end.
Welcome back, everyone. We have our final series of the night. This is going to be Grizz Maroon versus GCU Purple. Both of these teams 1-0 currently, but Grizz Maroon, the only teams in their specific West B conference for Division 3 have dropped a map that have won. The other 3 actually went 3-0, Shivy. So technically, they're in 4th place in the standings. But you can recognize some of the names here. We've seen Grizz Maroon before. So Breu, Fox, Olive, Neonara, who is actually an intern for Marvel Rivals this semester for NECC. Shout out. Kind of good salsa, cool dog beans, Dardigan, and OEL, I believe that's how you say that one. I could be mispronouncing it. Please let us know if that is the case. But yeah, some great players on this one. Of course, they have different names that they're going by for this. And then on the other side, GCU Purple, Giamura, Rainfall V2. I think that's Anti. Asuk, Sneaky Raptor, and Agent Alpha.
It's a toss-up. My favorite name, Attorney Cheeks or Sneaky Raptor. One of the two. Yeah. I think Sneaky Raptor. Sneaky Raptor is like a very old school kind of. That's like an Xbox Live.
Your favorite map, Shibby.
I can say I hate this map on this broadcast. I can't say it on the official Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna be a little bit more liberal here. Diverge a little bit. We do get burned into T'Challa. It's so funny. We were on the main broadcast, last weekend, and CV goes, "Oh, your favorite map?" And I just had to grin there, like, "Yeah,
you said the grimace map. Like, yeah, it's my favorite map."
Yeah, my favorite map of all time. Yeah, I'm so glad that's gone. Burning T'Challa, though, a map we just saw. I feel like that first map specifically is kind of tough.
Ooh.
One where.
Ooh. I like it. See, this is where we're getting into the weeds of the current meta. Banning Vanguard pool immediately. Are we going to get the Gambit ban from Grizz Maroon? Olive saying no. Yeah, that was definitely an Olive target.
Olive. Yeah, that sounds like Olive.
Like one above all Vanguard mains. So it makes sense. If someone's going to play it, it would be Olive. It's probably going to be banned every time that GCU Purple can go for it there. So makes a lot of sense. We saw Olive actually playing in the J3 Community Clash. They were on a team with Kurova and Flamme during the Open Qualifiers, and then they were on Team Momo for the main event with Yusher, Logan, Shroomy, and Pick and Roll, and Pirate King Momo, of course, there. Unfortunately, they didn't do as well as they would have liked during that. It was kind of a pickup team towards the end, but they took 2 maps off of Moshimon, who went to the finals, so solid showing there. Gotta give the shout out as I can. Saving the thing, though, probably locking that in for that Vanguard line as best they can. Loki also secured because Loki has been so banned so often in the highest levels of competition. So you want to get that locked in if you can and not have to worry about it being banned for your backline.
Yeah, Olive, I think, regularly scrims as well. So she's been just like really, really in the high level of competitive, and I'm not surprised. I believe everybody that's at least one above all or scrimming in pro play is picking up Vanpool, if not playing it. We saw a lot of it in the tournament last weekend. Turns out Banhammer OP. And I can agree with that. After that tournament, I took Deadpool and I played Vanpool the whole day. Still didn't win as much as I'd like to, but Banhammer is really good. You have to comment as well. That's the big thing. That's what makes it so good in pro play, is that you calm Banhammer and the rest of your team jumps on the person that gets Banhammered. But we don't got to worry about that. Rogue and Thing being protected here. I love these. Rogue getting.
Are we going to get a triple
buffs
Vanguard lineup,
match?
though, do you think, because of these saves? I think we would, based on that, yeah. Group being safe, too, man. We're having such a Vanguard feast in these ban and protects currently. I think also because the Emma ban, yeah. They had to lock in one Vanguard.
Okay. I think they're just trying to chop down GCU Purple's Vanguard pool, because, I mean, if I'm Grizz Maroon, I just save the next best Vanguard for Olive and just let her cook, honestly. Like, that is
getting rid of the Moon Knight so you don't have group. Moon Knight is huge as well. Love to see it. I mean, these are massive saves and bans from both ends here. So not too surprised with what we've seen focused down, especially because you want to make sure you secure at least someone you're comfortable with on that Vanguard line. And we do see the Hella Namor available. So, of course, it is going to be played on both sides, and so is the Cloak and Dagger, of course, with that.
No.
Thing.
There's no way Olive.
Interesting.
Olive got a Hulk?
Okay.
Olive, you got a Hulk?
No maybe they're
way.
practicing for the new patch. Could be. Could be practicing for the new patch. Hulk thing's actually going to be meta. I mean, probably not, but you know, for certain comps.
30 seconds
Sound?
before you attack. Get
Sound is
ready.
desynced. Sound is desynced.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm-
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'm tripping out. Why did I hear two Hulks? Why did I
You
hear?
did hear two Hulks, yeah.
No, maybe I'm going crazy here.
Maybe you are Moon
Chris-
Knight. Once Moon Knight was banned, you became him and heard the voices.
Yeah. I just hear multiple Hulks in my ear.
No.
Yeah, looks like going to be the Pain Brothers coming in for Grizz Maroon. No shield tank available for them, so this Hella Namor on the side of GCU Purple might be able to feast. Now, ASOC playing the Groot kind of like a shield tank, like a pseudo shield tank, because of the walls here, so might be able to provide their team with a little bit more protection. I'm really interested to see what Olive is going to do on this Hulk here, especially going into Monster Hulk form. That's been the biggest differentiator between a good and a bad Hulk, as Giamura instantly takes down Hikari.
Anyone willing to help?
Unfortunately, the purple makes it so that they take way more damage, and Grizz Maroon instantly have to back out.
Capture the mission area.
Well, GCU Purple taking that early percentage, pushing them back from the objective here and now. I'm liking this composition from them. I mean, the frontline group just so solid. I think they have the better of the front lines in terms of hero choices so far. Giamura, the thing in my mind, just has so much more value than Hulk does typically. But, you know, there's some really good Hulk players who can kite with them, especially once they build up their ultimates and use that to take people off the objective completely. There's some really cool plays you can do with them, so I'm curious if we're going to see any of that from Olive here specifically, but they do have to worry about that vulnerability a little bit. Jumping into the air, which did get improved, mind you, so they do have some more maneuverability than they used to. Trying to focus on the Loki at least a little bit, build up that alt charge even more so, and eventually we will see someone go in, but GCU Purple did have one of their members drop down. Good ultimates coming through so far. Got us a def, at least going to get one pick. Olive, the other direction, though, does get one in kind. Has to go all out to stall just a little bit. The front line, at least for the Vanguards of Grizz Maroon, still holding on the objective, but the percentage still building up for GCU Purple, so might have been a better option for them to back off.
Yeah, I suspect maybe Olive's going to swap off of this. Hikari has swapped over to the Groot here. As I say that, though, this Hulk is living really nice heals coming out from the strategist line of Grizz Maroon. As I say that, though, Hikari goes down. Attorney does pick up Anti in the meanwhile. Nice Anti as well coming in. Nice Exile as well. Exiling one of the healers is so busted. As Agent Alpha and ASOC combined, Horn of Proteus on top of the Strangling Prison is going to wipe Grizz Maroon's chances of taking that fight.
Hearing from the chat that ASOC is top 100 Groots NA, so we'll see if that is the case. All-time best Eternity rank, so pretty high ranked player for their team as well. Most picked, though, seems to be Magneto on their side, so might see some of that come out in the future, but for now they are looking really solid with this composition of theirs. Grizz Maroon still trying to find their footing on the objective, and you know, maybe a comp change going into point 2 might be the way to go, but sticking with what they can and giving it their all. Unfortunately, didn't get a single percentage against GCU Purple, and I think a lot of that has to come with sometimes you don't necessarily need to stick on the objective as those Vanguards when the rest of your team has been eliminated and sent back to the respawn room, right? Like, you already have your ultimates available to you. It might be better just to back off and regroup. Instead, we saw them sticking around that time, unfortunately. So Grizz Maroon, we'll see what they can do on this next point, but GCU Purple won the first team fight, pushed them back to spawn, and then we didn't really see a full cohesive effort from Grizz Maroon onto the objective since then.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yeah, GCU Purple looking very, very dominant, but this might be due to the fact that Grizz Maroon opened up on something a little bit more unorthodox. Doctor Strange is available. I don't know if Grizz Maroon are willing to pop that out here. Anti and Agent Alpha doing a really good job essentially beating their counterparts. And I think just Strangling Prison plus Horn of Proteus is too strong for Grizz Maroon to not opt in for it. We just saw what GCU Purple did with it. But Giamura has been very good on this thing, landing clutch.
Got it?
Yeah, there it is. There we see.
We're expecting this at some point. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Go for what's working. We know we all love Hulk in our hearts, but unfortunately, not currently at meta for the play styles that they want to go for here. And Giamura actually doing pretty good. GM1 peak even, and honestly playing with the best of them in this lobby. So great looks. Rank doesn't tell the full story, but unfortunately, the story that is told is that they are getting eliminated off the objective for now. So is many members of Grizz Maroon. Attorney almost has the Horn of Proteus. We'll see if it does come out or if they save it. They actually got 2 picks themselves on Agent Alpha onto the side of Grizz Maroon. So maybe just some better one-to-one plays in favor of GCU Purple. Good one from Anti as well. Just the individual picks and eliminations from GCU Purple have been the difference maker here.
Grizz Maroon, bevy of ultimates available for themselves, though. Styx the only one at 50%. I want to see some efficient usage, though, from Grizz Maroon. Plan ahead. Don't throw everything in the kitchen sink. GCU Purple, though, almost are working towards that 5. Nice little angle from ASOC there. Going up the walls on the side to combo Grizz Maroon. Olichi, Eternal Bond was used, but Olive ends up taking down ASOC. Attorney goes down as well from Agent Alpha, winning the Namor battle, the mirror we can call it, and Olive just chasing Sneaky Raptor around the point. Giomura hits a massive, or sorry, not Giomura. Olive actually hits a massive clobbering time. Trying to do as much as she can, but I actually don't think it's enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, still not able to get the eliminations necessary to take GCU Purple off of the objective, and that seems to be the difference between these two teams. The elims come and flow like a river for GCU Purple, and unfortunately for Grizz Maroon, it's been a desert for them trying to find any water to survive on the objective. And even Anti using the Goddess of Death, focusing the other Hela ult so that they can't even get any value out of it was a masterful play from them. We do finally see Hikari using a massive Strangling Prison, combo that with Attorney, and they take out the entire GCU Purple roster. The first time we've seen them win a team fight this map, but again, it's not all for naught. If they can go and win off of this, hold the objective down, at least force that map 3, things can turn around in their favor, but they need more where that came from.
Sneaky Raptor, Loki ult available here. Might look to copy Rainfall with the Eternal Bond and just walk their way in. They're at 85%. 1, maybe 2 team fights if Grizz Maroon ends up portaling. But Olive takes down ASOC, and they're still going to commit the Eternal Bond. I'm not sure if I love this play or agree with it, but Attorney does have the Namor ult available, Horn of Proteus. A lot of members go down for GCU Purple. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Loki copy. I think committing it after your Vanguard goes down is kind of overzealous.
Just a little bit. But hey, works out in favor for Grizz Maroon, so they'll take it every day of the week. Grizz Maroon sorting things out as much as they can. Attorney Cheeks, they have their ultimate available to them. Maybe they'll combo it here with the clobbering time, but no, they're holding on to it for now. I think that's a wise maneuver for them, just to make sure that they can lock things down, keep them at bay. These eliminations are flowing like a river now for Grizz Maroon, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Rushing rapids of elims and KOs against GCU Purple, one after the other, and this is a completely different team, it feels like, for Grizz Maroon once they're playing more defensively.
Yeah, they're looking to hold this on. Nice Strangling Prison from Hikari. Keeps them, at least GCU Purple, in their spawn. And 95%, somebody's got a TP. They are going to commit this Eternal Bond just so they can get into the overtime. And Anti swapping over to the Doctor Strange here so they can portal. A lot of ultimates whiff from both sides. GCU Purple, though, Kraken Impact comes in. Giomura lands a big clobbering time, but luckily, Neunara gets the invisible boundary down, and Olive responds in kind. ASOC lands a Strangling Prison. Big elims onto Grizz Maroon, and GCU Purple, despite heading into this fight in a 6v5, Anti's TP comes in, and 85% and counting. Olichi, the strategist, for Grizz Maroon, is going to swap over to the Strange because they're the first one to go down.
Strange made some
Might have been a better option for someone else too. They had enough time to get someone else on the portal, so they at least had enough sustain. But it looks like they are going the triple Vanguard route to stay onto it. Attorney moved over to the Rocket Raccoon. Sticks, as you mentioned, going down immediately. Iwagamoto, unfortunately, will come through, and all the elims follow from it. You see ASOC also getting a number of members off the objective, and that will be the first map going the way of GCU Purple.
GCU Purple doing a fantastic job keeping Grizz Maroon at bay, coming back. It almost looks like the round was going to be flipped, and we might have gone to a round 3 here. Really good ultimate usage from GCU Purple. I think the Strangling Prisons were on point. They just kind of played the mirror comp better.
That they did. Great looks from GCU Purple. They also just focused on fragging out a lot more than Grizz Maroon were able to. Full stop, especially on that first point. I mean, you could see kind of why the elims and final hits on their end in comparison to their counterparts. 10 from Anti, 9 from ASOC. Giamura also doing a great job on their end as well. So an insane look on their end to come out on top. But again, just good looks for the Grizz Maroon side. So GCU Purple, I mean, they just keep it going, and I think they'll take this series in stride if they keep it up. But Grizz Maroon, I think the big thing is they found their footing towards the end there, but it just wasn't, it was too little too late, right? They had to get those early fight wins. Every time we see a domination map, we harp on this all the time. I think it's like 80% or higher. If you win the first team fight, you win the map typically. So that's what we saw happen here again for GCU Purple. They're able to win every time, even if they gave so much percentage to Grizz Maroon. One team fight going their way, they come out on top again. So GCU Purple, I think they just keep playing as they're playing, focus on that Vanguard pool ban at the start, and they'll look good.
Yeah, I really like their ultimate usage. They felt very efficient. Other than maybe the one time we saw them commit that Eternal Bond relatively early, right? With that one team fight where one of their Vanguards went down. Other than that, I mean, they were just really, really efficient. And I enjoyed that. I love when I get to see clean Marvel rivals like that. Definitely a different sort of game from last series. No offense to Stevenson or BU, but that is high level Marvel rivals, and GCU coming out on top there. Grizz Maroon, though, with their map choice. Wow. Shocker.
This is insane.
I think it's your favorite
I've
map.
never seen this. I mean, I like the map. It's fun. But we've seen it so often is the main thing, you know. This is a favorite for a lot of teams for good reason, especially if they are very defensive minded. So I'm assuming, you know, since we saw Grizz Maroon look a little bit better when they actually had full control of the objective on domination and were playing defense, playing up away from the point, it looks solid for them. So maybe that'll be their strategy here, is if they can play to their strong suit on this side. I don't know if necessarily the save on the Rogue was the best play. Maybe if they could have protected someone else. Yeah, like I think if they focus on a different hero, then maybe it could have gone a different way, right? But they had their own thought process on what they could protect. Maybe they were worried that it'd just be complete Vanguard focus on the other end, but who knows what the mindset was for Grizz Maroon on that ban and protect phase. But we go back into it this time. It does get swapped around between these two, and it will be Grizz Maroon getting that first ban of the Gambits. Of course, that's going to be taken out. No one's going to be able to use that. And unfortunately for Olive, they are not going to be able to use the Vanguard pool the entire day today.
No, I think that's going to be taken away. Yeah, I didn't really agree with Grizz Maroon's protects. I don't
ban Groot this time. That's all I say.
Yeah, ban Groot if you're going to run the thing, if you're going to be so adamant on running it. Also, like, the Rogue Protect was not necessary.
Ooh,
they also
now you have to
hyper-indexed.
ban thing. You not ban thing. You have to ban Groot. You do not want to give them Groot, Mantis, Loki specifically. You could ban Loki as well. Loki was saved last time by GCU Purple, so a couple of different options on that end. I don't think you focus on the Vanguards as much because you need to focus more on that backline or even the damage that we saw coming out from them too, right? The Namor was massive on their side from what I remember.
Hella Namor better.
Yeah, they played that like way better than they did. So maybe focusing on the Hela specifically for the ban there. There's a couple different options that they can go for this one for Grizz Maroon. But yeah, it makes sense that you want to get rid of the Groot because GCU Purple were never going to ban that.
And this is one of Groot's best maps, too,
Yes.
right? You can throw the Ironwood Wall in a really sneaky spot, and you can just stay immovable forever. And especially if you're going to be dead set on playing Thing. I know a lot of people think the matchup has kind of shifted because of the mobility and how you can jump around. I still think it's really tough. If you get walled, like, you pray that your team is breaking them, and if you're not running wall breaking stuff. I like GCU Purple, though, targeting the Magneto, right? I mean, arguably targeting Grizz Maroon's potentially best player in Olive, taking away some of these more stock standard tanks and maybe forcing her onto something else. GCU Purple very clearly believe that they have the better duelist line, so saving that Phoenix and telling you, hey, Grizz Maroon, you're not going to be able to beat us through Vanguards. You're going to have to out-final hit us.
Yeah. Locking in the Invisible Woman, I think, is good for the back line, too, in case we do see, Doctor Strange come out at some point as well, so you can push them with the Force Physics. Again, there's the Loki ban I was talking about, though. You do not want that in the hands of GCU Purple, especially because they seem to have a stronger back line in comparison, and that really is exacerbated by, like, a really good Loki player. Because you can time your ultimates perfectly, you can get it faster than the other team based on the amount of ammo that they have available to them. I do like that they're nerfing that in the most recent patch here as well. And getting rid of the Rogue, I think, makes sense, especially because you've typically seen some triple holds on this first point. But instead, it's going to be Grizz Maroon playing offense first. Typically, we see the team who picks... Oh, actually, this makes sense. Yeah, because they're the ones who picked the map. Like, forgot how the order of things worked. It's been a long day. It's okay. But GCU Purple, yeah, they'll be playing defense. That makes sense.
Attorney on the Squirrel Girl Lord as well. Don't know how much effective usage is going to get. Yeah, I think you just play Moon Knight, which is just better Squirrel Girl in my mind for Grizz Maroon.
Yeah.
I'm not hating this composition necessarily, but GCU Purple definitely have something in the back pocket. This is a very standard pro comp. When Mantis is available, you just run triple strategist and you just damage boost perma your one singular hit scan DPS. In this case, it's going to be anti. And like Grizz Maroon, they are running decomposition to break it. Typically, you'd see Moon Knight plus Storm, but
I'm
Moon Knight here is
surprised we don't
completely
see
fine.
a Moon Knight Mantis, though. Like, that is the effectiveness that you expect to see from them, so... Who knows? They're just having a team meeting in the spawn room. I think they're just having a fun time with it. Again, that's the cool thing about these collegiate matches as well. Like, it's not as serious as pro play. There's not as much on the line other than pride and glory and trying to make it to those playoffs. This is the early stages of the semester to figure out what works, what doesn't work, change your compositions based on that, see where you can go from them. Olichi, though, swapping over the Cloak and Dagger, I do like that. Double Tear Cape is so effective. Really do need Attorney, though, to get some more focusing shots, though, with their moons against the opponents so that they can build up that ultimate even faster. And they actually get picked off by Anti so quick so that they can't even build up that Hand of Khonshu as they wanted to. And there's 3, and they get 4 members already down from Grizz Maroon, and about to be 5.
Goodbye. GCU Purple just steamrolling Grizz Maroon there in the blink of an eye. And it looks like they're going to opt in for that Mantis. Yeah, why didn't they just open up with that? Essentially running mirror composition. So now it's a matter of which Phoenix is better and which team can pilot the heroes better in the mirror. This is a full 6v6 mirror. This is kind of rare.
Yeah, typically we don't see that, especially on the attacking side, right? They want to go for more of the spawn break strategy on that side. Olichi, though, does get that pick onto Jayumaro, so massive momentum shift in their favor. Visible boundaries procced by both sides. Sonic Seduction already available for Olive, so ultimate pacing working out better for Grizz Maroon, but they do need to be able to deal with this Eternal Bond in some way. Rainfall was able to get that towards the back line, so they're going to sustain themselves, at least for now, on the objective. The portal play from Giamara also, just to get them back in the fight as quickly as possible. I feel like they could have saved that for later.
I think it's a tempo thing, right? I mean, GCU Purple have already committed a mass amount of ults here, so they're just trying to force Grizz Maroon out, but it's not going to work, because like you said, Grizz Maroon, better ultimate economy usage. Maybe they could have held the portal. Maybe potentially Giamura could have held onto it until the whole team respawns back and then they flood back in. That's typically what we see from higher level teams, but I think GCU Purple made the call here. Hey, let's commit portal early. Let's try to figure it out here. It's Sticks looking for
Just in case.
something. I don't know. Portal cancel? Like
Probably forgot that the portal was used earlier because like most people would think you wouldn't use it that early just to get back to the objective. But hey, you know, get some early chip damage on them, build up that ultimate even faster if you need to. Giamara just flying in against them, and a risky play, but you know, they'll get them off of the high ground at least a little bit for now. So better positioning, but usually you have free reign with taking the cart down the main street here.
Ooh,
And
Silent Seduction.
Inferno and the Silent Seduction, as you mentioned, could be useful here.
Yeah, ends up picking up Olichi in the back, and Grizmaroon have to scatter playing in that mega room. As Olive does take down Asian Alpha, and Hikari with a nice clobbering time here lands on the multiple members of GCU Purple. Eternal Bond committed from Rainfall. GCU Purple have done this multiple times now, committing a strat ultimate despite being down in numbers, just looking for that stall, looking for Sticks. Maybe now he's going to pop off here, takes Rainfalls down, and GCU Purple, I want to say, waste of an Eternal Bond there.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in, right? Because you're trying to create the space with it, see if that's enough for you to sustain yourself and walk. But the problem was that they didn't really have much backing them up, and the ultimates weren't in their favor because they got taken out before they could even use them. So Grizmaroon continues to move on their path of domination to point 2, and it seems like GC Purple were better suited towards that Dom map in comparison to this one. So good counter pick so far for Grizmaroon. Ultimates come through though. Sticks using theirs, try to get a pick, did get one on the other end. Olichi going down immediately. Neonara as well. Olive trying to keep their team alive. Attorney Cheeks can't really do too much, but there's two good picks from Grizmaroon.
Gizmaroon, after a little bit of resistance on that first point, have just been steamrolling through point 2 here. Hikari's been landing some
Great
really good
stall from
cooperating times.
Anti.
They're doing a really good job. Yeah, pretty good stall from Anti. But unfortunately, GCU Purple will have to fight on this last point here. Be careful, both for Grizmaroon and GCU Purple. With Invisible Woman in play, you can get sent to your doom.
Yes, especially if you aren't prepared for it. I like this play of having the shield in front of Sticks just so that they can get the chip damage and build up their ultimate even faster against the other team. You also see the swap from ASOC on to the Punisher instead. So one-sided Phoenix. I mean, I guess the Phoenix wasn't feeling as comfortable for GCU Purple, but just the long sight lanes work so much better for Grizmaroon here.
Yeah, maybe there's kind of identifying that Hikari is a problem.
True.
Soul
Yeah.
Resurgence used from Olichi. A lot of ultimates being pressed for Grizmaroon. Insong Inferno as well on top of the clobbering time. Rainfall committing Eternal Bond. 2 members are down though. Just trying to burn as much time as possible. Agent Alpha coming back along with
focus.
Giamara. ASOC has final judgment. Rainfall takes down Olichi, but Rainfall goes down as well. ASOC's got to live here because this is their only win condition on this next ensuing fight.
It's been such a momentum shift, and I think the biggest change here is Hikari being on the thing and Olive being able to play that Emma, just creating space with it, using their shield to block off a lot of the damage, and all of that Punisher ult was just going onto the shield. They just completely blundered on when they were using it, and unfortunately we're not able to get a single pick from it. So Grizmaroon, of course, a couple of them do go down, so that does create some space for GCU Purple. And yeah, they could have swapped to the shotgun, maybe we're able to get some more, but a complete reset does come out at least, so it does force them back and stall things for now.
Minute 45 on the clock. About 2, maybe 3 fights left in this round for Grizmaroon. Sticks does have the Insong Inferno available. Sonic Seduction gets committed by Anti. Giamara has the clobbering time, and Sneaky has yet to convince the invisible boundary just yet. As I say that, though, there we go. Nice angle from Olive, though. Pretty much capturing almost everybody on GCU Purple's time, but big clobbering time on to Grizmaroon. Unfortunately, though, Giamara gets taken down. Soul Resurgence, 5-man clobbering time from Hikari into the Inferno. My lord, Grizmaroon, beautiful ult usage.
Oh my gosh, creating so much space with those ults and the eliminations. And yeah, everyone dropping like flies in the GCU Purple. Massive moves being made. This is the difference compared to what we saw in the last map, a full 180 of their performance. They were struggling to use their ults properly, struggling to get those eliminations. The sleep, unfortunately, doesn't matter. Invisible Boundary able to do a lot here, and even with the Final Judgment, it's not really as damage boosted as they would like, so no picks come from it.
You have to stand in the cloak ultimate, ASOC, or you will go down here. And one-sided Phoenix proving very, very troublesome for GCU Purple, although they're still stalling on the point, and he finally goes down. I don't think ASOC's going to be able to get there in time. And Grizz Maroon, 3 full points with a little bit of time to spare, 12 seconds on the clock. Very well played from them. I think after that first point Vaudable, they just had really immaculate ult usage.
Yeah, they did. That's the difference between what we saw last time and this time. But also, Sticks popping off on the Phoenix has been massive. Olive also being unleashed on the Emma. I think things just wasn't working out for her as well as she wanted it to. And Akari is doing enough for the team, taking a lot of the damage, right? 31,000 damage blocked is insane.
That's crazy. That's all with his face, by the way. He's no shields. That's just 31,000 damage taken by Hakari. And the fact that he only has two deaths here means that he did a really good job tanking, right?
Yeah.
Or obviously
great heals too.
Yeah. I didn't want to overshadow them. They did a really good job.
Good on both ends, though, right? Like, you could still get bursted down even if you have triple strategists on the back line. And we got the Helen Namor that worked out so well, though, for GCU Purple, so could be the difference maker for them.
Potentially, but minimum this map will go to overtime, or at least sudden death, if the GCU Purple get it to those 3 points. Olive 32 and 5 as well, 13 finals. It's been a really good job maintaining that beam, like that 100% beam power. Also got buffed last patch, or season 6, I guess, technically 6 patch, for no apparent reason. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Emma Frost, love that hero.
Good for a reason. Been meta for quite a long time, you know. Rocking the new costume as well. The high ponytail, as I believe it is called. But either way,
I like high ponytails. I do like high ponytails.
A fashion statement, you could say. But what we can say right now is this is a good push already. A lot of space being created by GCU Purple. Grizz Maroon are playing a lot more passive than you typically see players at this stage. So they're giving too much space, in my opinion, to their opponents. Good elimination, though, onto ASOC.
Yeah, it's going to stop GCU Purple's offensive here. A minute already gone by, which is kind of crazy to think about how fast time moves in Marvel Rivals when you're working towards that point, when you're walking towards. You lose one member, you lose a team fight, and you're already staring down 1.5 minutes of time gone. So GCU Purple got to move a little bit quicker, maybe a bit faster here, as Grizz Maroon doing a really good job stalling them out so far.
Also, shout out Mr. Bepic for the raids.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bepic.
Big dubs from the Rocket League community there. They had some quals going on for a LAN, pretty dope. Either way, though, Agent Alpha and Sneaky Raptor have their ultimates available to them. Curious when they will come through. As everyone is stunned, a massive clobbering time here from Hakari onto the entire lineup of GCU Purple, but they didn't get a conversion from it. Finally, ASOC goes down, and the pieces are picked up by Olive and Sticks. There goes one more for the double, and everyone is vanquished off the map. Not much time remaining. Half of it has been used already for GCU Purple.
Hakari hitting his jackpot time and time again here with that ultimate. Really, really good play from him on this clobbering time.
Problem is
Now
they don't
GCU
have any ultimates available, though.
Yeah, now GCU Purple do, like you said, have that ultimate advantage economy. Asian Alpha, Horn of Proteus available, Anti as well. Olichi, though, does have Soul Resurgence. Lucky they were able to pop it prior to
Perfect
the Psionic convergence coming in. And let's see. Goddess of Death, maybe, just maybe we'll find something. Instead, gets taken out immediately. And here comes Olive responding in kind.
Ooh, Giamara tried to use their ultimate too, but the rest of their team was stunned out. Hakari uses theirs, only gets the back line, but can't even get the conversions from it. So will be enough time for Rainfall to get back onto the objective. So a couple of good hits here and there, but Grizz Maroon dropping like flies,
TP?
and it looks like, yeah, the TP does come through at the last moment from Sticks. But the problem is that
Wow.
they need the damage in their favor, and they are just getting dropped left and right. They can't even stay alive against
Oh
this
my!
Hella Namor combo.
Anti coming up big, hitting big, massive headshots and taking down a majority of the strat line for Grizz Maroon. Yeah, Styx TP. I'll say Grizz Maroon's TP because it's not his fault necessarily. Unfortunately, not effective installing, and GCU Purple are going to get another crack at trying to take us to an overtime on this map.
We shall see is the big thing here. I think Grizz Maroon, the problem was because they used so many of their ultimates to push the GCU Purple lineup back, is that they had nothing in the tank afterwards to sustain themselves on the objective. So yeah, they had the Soul Resurgence, but they had to use it once the Horn of Proteus came out from Agent Alpha, and then Anti just popped off pick after pick after pick, and they've realized this is the comp to go against triple strategists for a reason. You got the healing reduction from team up with Agent Alpha and Anti. Clobbering time comes through from Giamura, and this will be massive if they can get eliminations off of it, but no, instead it'll be the other direction it goes.
Giamura not finding any follow-up on his ult. I mean, that was like a four-man stun. Agent Alpha wasn't able to drop the Horn of Proteus. Olive takes them down as well. Like, GCU Purple feel out of sync. This does not feel like the same team I saw playing Domination in Map 1. It feels like a completely different roster.
It really is relying on individual pop-off potential from players, especially the duelist lineup. And the problem is if you get some good counters from Grizz Maroon, you can shut them down completely before they can even get going. I mean, again, Anti goes down immediately before they can use their ultimate, and that's a long death timer based on how long this map has been going on for. Same for the Agent as well. So again, this high angle that we're seeing from Styx is kind of cheeky, so they can't even move towards the convoy itself, and a lot of ultimates in the bank for GCU Purple, so going to come down to how they use them. What is this angle, man?
That's a disgusting angle. Nice Sonic Seduction, though, coming in. Maybe Anti can do something. Unfortunately, nope. Ultimate gets taken down. Olichi does pop the Soul Resurgence for Grizz Maroon. Now Olive is going to respond in kind with their own Sonic Seduction. Nice bubble from Agent Alpha, but I don't think it's enough. Gets behind the wall. One member goes down, Hikari, as well as Olichi Sokuri. GCU Purple, 1 minute left on the clock, are pushing Grizz Maroon back, but so much was invested from both ends.
You say that, but there's so many ultimates still available for GCU Purple. I think most of the ultimates used for Grizz Maroon were a bit wasted in my mind. They unfortunately didn't get as much value as they wanted from it. Agent Alpha actually flanking around with the Namor here to see if they can get an awkward angle onto the other side. No one getting stunned by the clobbering time for Giamura on that play, so the invisible boundary is just going to even things out between these two. Yancey Street charge, making it more difficult for them to back off from this full charge, and they are getting charged down immediately. They can't even stay alive to get back to the convoy in safety of their backline. So Grizz Maroon, they've done better without the ultimates than using them personally.
The best dry fighters in Marvel Rivals. Portal is being opened. Is Giamura going to be able to get it off, though? Olive takes down Asok, and the stun comes in from Hikari. I don't think that's actually going to help, though. Styx going to take down the Goddess of Death. Rainfall, though, does have Eternal Bond ready. Olive popping the Sonic Seduction here, hopefully looking to potentially get somebody big angle onto all 6 members of GCU Purple, and they are falling. Giamura takes down Neunara, and Styx takes down Anti, so 4v5 right now for GCU Purple onto Grizz Maroon. Olive and Grizz Maroon. Unfortunately, Giamura, his Eye of Agamotto, before he can land, gets taken down. And Grizz Maroon are guaranteeing us at least 4 maps in this best of 5.
Cinema, as always, here, Shibby, on the NECC channel. Couldn't ask for anything better, and I think a lot of that had to come down to the composition changes that we saw from Grizz Maroon. Even with the way that the ban and protect phase went, I still think Grizz Maroon had their work in their favor. Getting rid of the Loki and getting rid of the Groot was the way to go. So you need to see at least one of those saved by GCU Purple is the big thing. 25 from Olive and 22 from Styx. My goodness. Those are those Eselums I talked about.
Yeah, the finals. Oh my lord! I mean, I dropping a 25 bomb onto GCU
and getting
Purple.
an ace.
And getting and getting a full 6 ace. Yeah, that's disgusting. Very well played.
Pro for a reason.
Pro for a reason. That's why we saw as well GCU Purple targeting a lot of that Vanguard pool early, the Magneto being taken away. I kind of was hoping that Grizz Maroon would ban away the Cloak and Dagger once they saw the Magneto ban, but they're completely fine with just letting that through here. And now we go back to GCU Purple's Convoy counter pick. What could we see? Unfortunately, no Museum of Contemplation until next week, but
that's going to be great. But you know
I'm gonna call my shot.
Shibby? We're going to be sending on to a quick break, and we'll be back with the next map after that. So we'll be back in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. And it seems like Grizz Maroon have found the olive branch that they needed to carry them to victory in that last map. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But either way, this will be interesting because like Grizz Maroon struggled in domination, and now they looked really good here in Convergence. Shiv, you had an inkling, and we had to leave everyone on a little bit of a cliffhanger for that break before we came back. So what are you thinking we're going to here?
Yggdrasil Path, right? It's the most common one we see. I think you were thinking Midtown, which is also very common. And
Spider Islands. Wow, we're doing the exact same maps as last time. Crazy. Both of us were wrong.
Where's my pillow? Where's like, dude, I'm ready to fall. Like, okay, I mean, look. I like Spider Islands. It's vibrant, at least. Got a lot of cool colors. Distracts me, which is nice. But also, we're banning Loki,
we just got to do this to you, Chevy. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
No, put that or like, what is it? Maze Runner or whatever that thing is on the Subway Surfer.
Yeah,
Subway
Maze Runner,
Surfer?
that's more of an unk one.
Look, I remember Maze Runner. I remember. That was the original Subway Surfer.
Yeah, a great movie in the book.
Yeah. Yep.
I think you're thinking of the Temple Runner.
Oh, is that what it's called? Is that what it's called? Wait,
Temple
now
Run,
I gotta
Temple
see.
Run.
Temple Run? Can someone in chat confirm? Temple Run? Oh,
It's Temple Run, yeah. Maze Runner's the movie and book series.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm sick, guys.
It's because of Spider
delusional.
Islands. You know, Spider Islands just got you all messed up. That's all it is.
Spider Island's low-key a maze sometimes, the way it zigs and zags and how much verticality there is. I think I remember in Maze Runner, the walls are really high. So, yeah, a little bit. GCU Purple looked a little lost there. I felt like their ultimate usage in that last, map was not as clean as we saw them on Burn into T'Challa. That might be because Grizz Maroon were playing a little bit of more off-meta stuff or, a little bit of different things here and there, but I don't feel like that changes because of the heroes that Grizz Maroon picks. Like GCU Purple were overcommitting a lot of ultimates or committing stuff when the fight was already lost, which I think is the bigger sin.
I'm just curious to see what they focus on this time in terms of the bans and protects. I don't think they're going to protect Mantis. It worked against them last time. Maybe focusing down on the Groot would be a good strategy for them. Because they look so much stronger with their group play, right, in comparison to Grizz Maroon. So that could be a different strategy that they go for. Of course, they're going to go for the Vanpool ban immediately. Last time, that's targeting Olive again. But in terms of the protects, do we see them run it back with Mantis? I hope for their sakes we don't, because it worked out so much better for Grizz Maroon. I feel like even damage boosting Olive actually worked well. The Loki save, okay, yeah, the Loki was a big difference maker on that side. And we actually saw the Loki save come out first, I believe, last go around for GCU Purple on domination so that they could make sure that was available to them. So good change up in their favor there. They'll also be starting on defense again this time. So maybe that'll be enough to stop the clobbering club that Grizz Maroon have been pulling out. But Akari actually looks really good on the thing. So locking down the Loki, yeah, works out decently, but they won't have that grid available to them. And I feel like that was more of a big difference maker for them.
Yeah, the vulnerable is just so strong for Grizz Maroon because once you combo it with a fully charged Emma beam on top of the damage boost, it's actually just going to melt you, right? Like, you're actually going to disintegrate into the ground, unfortunately. And GCU Purple, banning the invis away, I don't hate that. I like you said, the Loki save, really good on this map, the verticality, the different areas you can place it on. Wonder if we're going to see more triple strategist compositions. I like the Phoenix save, although I did feel like GCU
Phoenix
Purple
works better
strayed
for
away
Grizz
from
Maroon.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. They strayed away from the Phoenix
Ooh, the mag
very
save was
early on
massive.
because Sticks. Yeah, Grizz Maroon saving that mag, which has been banned out, right? The Invis ban originally for the last two maps was a Magneto ban, and I love this.
The strange
No,
ban.
yeah, no portal play, no shenanigans.
Eye of
I
Agamottos.
really mess with this. No Eye of Agamottos. And that's simply because Invis was banned away, one of the biggest counters, and I like the Emma ban. Some pretty fair and honest Marvel rivals will be played today, Audible.
I like it. I like it. But you know what? It does leave open again. It does leave the Mantis open for that triple strategist. And we saw how good that worked out last time for Grismaroon. Mantis, Loki, probably Cloak and Dagger. Oh, actually, no. We do see it's going to be a little bit of a different look here with the side of... Yeah, I mean, I guess this makes sense. We've seen some good looks with this comp in the past, like way back when, with the Luna Snell, Cloak and Dagger, and Rocket Raccoon specifically. You have potential for 2 different ults that can damage boost as they heal as well. And then the Terror Capes from the Cloak and Dagger. So we're going to be eyes on what GCU Purple are going to be doing to counter that specifically, using the Meteor M's, if that'll work in their favor. Also having the damage boost from the Mantis is a big thing on their end as well. I'm actually kind of surprised Grismaroon aren't going for more of like a stall like break hold breaker composition like we could do with like a Moon Knight or something else, but all of actually using the Angela. I like to see that play because there's so many different ways you can use Angela well and bob and weave around the different buildings here on this specific map.
I mean, you also have Heaven's Retribution plus Ensong Inferno, right? That's a really big combo that I expect Grismaroon to take advantage of, especially because Attorney is on the rocket, so you can damage boost it, although now you're committing 3 ultimates, which could be an overinvestment. GCU Purple, though, have Anti available on the Phoenix, so I don't love this rocket pick. I expect it not to have a lot of success. Olive flying around here and has taken the Mantis for a ride. Agent Alpha, though, is fine, but the greens do get used. Oh, that's another big thing, right? Mantis Loki team up available. So on top of the lamps providing invulnerability for a little bit, or until you take the totem out, it gives damage boost and it's wider range.
Like the damage boost, like the range, like the hands being thrown. We got the thong here, or the thing, excuse me. Grismaroon. It's just what they can. Hey, that's what the costume is. That's what the costume is. That's all I'm saying.
There's no way it's called. It probably is, actually. I wouldn't be put it past Marvel Rivals. Well, fan service.
That's not what it's called.
Fan service is needed for everybody. Sticks. Focusing back here. Ensong Inferno. Hikari does use the... I'm sorry. My train of thought is just completely gone. All right. Me, mo. All right, we're back in, guys. Yeah, too much brain rot. GCU Purple, though.
I've been playing too much
bevy of
man.
ultimates. Yeah, me too. It does rot your brain. That plus TikTok, deadly combo here. But let's see if GCU Purple can come out with an even deadlier combo. Sneaky Raptor does copy the Soul Resurgence here. They're going to walk in. At least one person is contesting card. Giomora does have clobbering time. Neunara, though, is going to pop the Eternal Bond, and it gets absolutely eaten alive. Unfortunately, the Meteor M does not go anywhere. Olive on this Magneto has built up their own Meteor M, and here comes the Fear Magneto. Let's see if they can get anything. It's damage boosted as well, and it doesn't matter, as Anti is going to take out Attorney's very own CYA.
I'm liking this composition from GCU Purple, especially the combo that you typically see, the bread and butter of the Meteor M with the Ensong Inferno. It just works so well, right, to deal with any stragglers from Grismaroon. And I feel like they need to change things up a little bit on their side. I do like Olive back on the Magneto this time because the Angela just wasn't really working against the poke that we saw from GCU Purple, especially with the extra damage that they can get using the Mantis to their favor. So now able to walk a little bit more, damage reduction used on them as well. Also, perfect uses of the shield just to create some extra space. So, clobbering time into the back line, though. That's 3 people stunned out. Giomura going backwards as well, but nobody actually getting converted from that. So, we will see Fate of Both Worlds used by Olici just to keep them on the point. And GCU Purple, a bit of a waste of the clobbering time, actually. It didn't go anywhere.
That's rare from Hikari. Or, sorry, not Hikari. Giomura, who's been normally having some really good ults here, but GCU Purple will get vanquished in 0.1. Going over to Grismaroon so far with pretty solid time bank, 3 minutes, right? Not too bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't as much of a hold as GCU Purple really wanted. on that first objective, but they still wasted some time, which is always important. So against a team like Grizz Maroon, which has, you know, this veteran Vanguard lineup with Olive on it, is massive on their end. Meteor M, we'll see what they can do with it. Also smart to like just damage boost one of your strongest heroes and players. That's what we're seeing from Olichi. I like to swap over to the Mantis too, just so that they can actually focus more on getting an ult charge, but also forcing the issue against the other team and going toe-to-toe with them a little bit more there. Loki also being used by Attorney is massive, so great change-ups to keep this momentum going, but it's all going to come down to these ult usages.
Big fear, Magneto. Somebody's got to break the bubble, guys. Tell your team, break the bubble, and then the Meteor M could land. Unfortunately, both whiff. They go wide right here. And Grizz Maroon, not as many ults available. GCU Purple, gotta be smart though, gotta be efficient. As I say that, clobbering time lands onto 3 members. Hakari, massive clobbering time, and that's gonna take GCU Purple down to 4 people. Anti takes down Neunara, though. Grizz Maroon down a strategist. Yumura says, hey, I've got a clobbering time of myself. Soul Resurgence comes in from Olichi, though, and that's going to put a stop to any sort of follow-up from GCU Purple.
It's tough for GCU Purple because it seems they keep getting staggered so much where they aren't able to use their ultimates in tandem. I mean, we've seen clobbering times come out and then no focus on the backline afterwards. We've seen strategist ultimates being used and they haven't been able to do anything really with it. And even with the Eternal Bonds that have come through, they haven't created enough space for them to move forward. So see Sneaky Raptor using one to at least create some room for them towards the objective. But here's the Meteor M from ASOC. Will it be enough? Can they time it properly? No, it actually hits the woodwork, the corner of the building around them. So not the best positioning that they could have been in to use that Meteor M. Instead, Grizz Maroon have free reign to move up towards that second checkpoint.
Bro hates architecture. Just like, nah, I need to redecorate here, unfortunately. Olive, though, Meteor M available. Hakari, clobbering time once again onto GCU Purple. I mean, one after another, Hakari has been landing clutch clobbering times.
Yeah, great looks from Hakari. I think them swapping over to the thing since map 1 and then Olive more flexing to kind of that main Vanguard role that we like to see is working out in their favor. But GCU Purple still have a couple tricks up their sleeve. I think it all, again, comes down to that ult usage, right? We saw it be so clinical in that first domination map last time against Grizz Maroon. And it just seems like the synergy hasn't been that much there this go around. A mirror comp between these two teams, though. So Grizz Maroon, if they can hold on to their ults and time them properly, they'll be able to get that third checkpoint and force another potential full hold scenario like they did on Convergence. They definitely seem better suited for these types of maps compared to Domination like we saw.
Yeah, I mean, Domination also one of the more volatile map forms in general.
Yeah.
In theory, worse on team paper can always take it, especially because it's so momentum-based, right? You only have to take sometimes 4, maybe 3 team fights and you can win the map. As I say that, Neunara does pop the Eternal Bond. Rainfall is going to respond in kind, and Olive says, hey, I've got a Meteor M here. Maybe I can dunk it onto somebody. Wow. Agent Alpha, the recipient of the meatball, goes down here. And Anti, though, picks up 2, says, hey, I'll respond in kind with my own elims.
Anti, just an air battery, taking out the entire backline of Grizz Maroon. First fight win in a bit that we've seen from them since the first objective, so a good windfall in their favor, but they need to take the distance to pass the finish line and stop Grizz Maroon in their tracks, so they at least don't have to worry about going all the way to checkpoint number 3 here on Spider Islands. Not much time remaining, though, for Grizz Maroon. Happy to use Soul Resurgence. Clobbering time does come through. Gets 4 people for Grizz Maroon. A massive ultimate to at least delay them and make it so Olichi's ultimate is useless.
Yeah, Soul Resurgence not getting as much value as they would like. Sneaky Raptor does take down Hakari. Attorney, though, has to copy the Eternal Bond. Arguably wanted to use it probably later. Sticks building up towards that Ensong Inferno. GCU, though, not a lot to work with. A dry fight ensuing. Overtime is ticking for Grizz Maroon. This is probably last team fight territory unless they can get a portal off.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll necessarily see it depending on if anyone gets staggered from Grizz Maroon. You know, Olive wants to use their Meteor M. That was a great bubble onto Styx just to keep them alive on the high ground and trying to hold on to it as best they can. They need to get this pick onto the other Phoenix, but Anti is staying alive throughout all of it. Good focuses going straight towards the back line again. They try to use the combo of the Meteor M with it, but it wasn't enough. ASOC has theirs still remaining. Clobbering time came through, and that's a double from ASOC onto their back line yet again. Everyone vanquished from Grizz Maroon. Even the clobbering time coming out from Hikari as a last-ditch effort, but it's not enough. Styx the only one remaining on the objective, and it will be overtime. Ticking down, no third checkpoint secured this time.
0-2-2.
What a play from ASOC.
Mix things up.
I mean, really, really well-placed Meteor M. Understood, that Grizz Maroon had to kind of stay on point. Overtime was ticking. Just drops it right onto the convoy. Picks up two. I believe he picked up two strategists there as well. So, really high-value Meteor M. I mean, most of the Meteor M's from both of these teams were whiffing. I think Olive ended up hitting one onto Agent Alpha, and ASOC takes down multiple members for Grizz Maroon. So, GCU Purple have a chance to take this map and not send us into an overtime.
See if they can do it. See if this will be the counter pick that Grizz Maroon were looking for. Or GCU Purple, excuse me. Grizz Maroon looking for their own counter pick if they do drop this map. But again, like, we didn't even see, at least on Central Park, too much resistance put up by GCU Purple on the attacking side. I think a lot of that, though, had to come down to that Emma play that we saw from Olive specifically. The Magneto not getting as much value, honestly. Meteor M's, yeah, they could do some stuff here and there, but the elimination totals are dwarfed in comparison, especially when we saw them on the attacking side. So curious to see what the strategy for GCU Purple will be here. Looks like they're pretty much sticking with the same composition. If it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. Same for the other side of Grizz Maroon. So toe-to-toe it goes, and we'll see how it continues from here on out.
Yeah, I think Olive's just a better fundamental Magneto, right? I mean, even if you remove the ultimate usage out of it, 8 finals, MVP currently on Grizz Maroon. And GCU Purple pretty much working with Anti popping off here, doing a really good job with that Phoenix, and Styx kind of needs the match in kind. Also, again, haven't seen the Ensong Inferno Magneto combo. You have to land with Ensong first while Magneto's channeling, so that then they can drop it onto any of the members that are low, because the shields or totems are gone. Sneaky Raptor, though, takes down Hikari. Olive bursts Anti down. That's a duelist away for GCU Purple, who's going to take a long walk back to point 1.
Good pressure being created by GCU Purple. Just walking forward. So much room being created already.
Wow.
This is actually much faster than we saw Grizz Maroon be able to do anything about it. There's the
Nice.
combination, though. The Meteor M using it with the Ensong Inferno just to get that splash damage, and eventually the eliminations from Styx perfectly timed. It makes sense when you have a pro-level player on your team. But will it be enough? They do stall them out at least a little bit here. A good team fight win in their favor. Not going to get the full elimination, so not a true reset back to the respawn, but at least just enough to create a buffer and waste even more time. And around this point, I believe we saw that first checkpoint captured by Grizz Maroon, so got to put the pedal to the metal if you're GCU Purple and want to come out with this map win.
Yeah, ASOC and Anti have to come in with their own Ensong Meteor M combo here. Kari has clobbering time available. Actually gets stunned, so unable to use it. Drops back down to 50%. ASOC instead opting in to try to counter this. I just don't think it's worth it. I genuinely think you just you try to use it Ensong Inferno instead of going for the raw hit onto Cloak, because Olive is just too good of a tank. She will just block it, you know?
Every time, yeah. Especially if you're trying to focus them down like that. And you can see Anti trying to stagger Olive there as well. So Grizz Maroon will have to reset. Have a couple ultimates in their favor to do just that. Eternal Bond is being used by the Loki with the copy. God of Mischief on the line. Also Soul Resurgence from Alichi.
Oh, stunned!
Clobbering time came through, but I don't think it really did as much as they wanted it to. So
No,
I
it
think
got stunned.
Oh, it got stopped out. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that happen against a thing in some time. Rough spot to be in. Tried to combo the ultimates, but didn't quite work there.
Yeah, Akari. It happened to Akari. It just happened to Jimura. There we go. Nice
Almost
sleep, though, to at least stop some of the follow-up. Yeah, Akari. Also, I will say these things are kind of telegraphing it, right? They're charging in with their Yancey Street charge. Clearly, they haven't used ultimate. They're looking for something big, so you can kind of anticipate it. Grizz Maroon, though. Defense is faltering. ASOC and Rainfall are able to eliminate some of their counterparts here in GCU Purple. Get point one with a little bit more time than Grizz Maroon had the first time they captured it. It was 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Time is on their side, for sure. A good look that we saw from GCU Purple. I feel like more of that was a mistake on the end of Grizz Maroon than anything. Weird timings of ultimates and misplacements of the Ensong Infernos and Meteor M's, not knowing exactly where to use them, but also good positioning from GCU Purple, so got to give them credit where it is due there. And they have a lot of their ultimates in their favor. Didn't even have to use a single one in that last team fight, so this will be a big look for them if they can use them properly. Not a single person getting hit by that clobbering time, though, a bit wasted.
Jimura, unfortunately, not able to replicate Hakari's success on these clobbering times. Big stun, though, on the Grizz Maroon, light on the multiple members. Anti has ult. ASOC as well. Maybe we see the combo, but ASOC's taking a lot of damage here. Soul Resurgence committed early for Asian Alpha. Sticks, though. Gonna pop the Ensong Inferno. Lands right onto Alpha's head. And Anti trying to do the same thing. ASOC is channeling. Takes down Olichi. Both of the Mantises go down here. Olive still has Meteor M, though, and Attorney still has the copy. So if they play this right, Grizz Maroon can just stall this out and win this fight. Here, Magneto coming in.
Oh, no. The
Yeah, I hate
positioning
rocks
of it
too.
again wasn't right there. But yeah, first the scenery that we saw with the corner of the building last time on defense for GCU Purple. And I was like, yeah, I'll give you that one. But it was kind of a hard angle to go for at the end. They were already retreating so much. So just threatening them with the Meteor M helps enough than anything else. They haven't even been using them, actually. The focus on the Cloak and Daggers, more just trying to get individual picks towards the back line. So Attorney is going to be using their own in tandem after the God of Mischief does get popped for the copy. And Sneaky Raptor going down immediately. Olive with a two-piece. ASOC gets one, but doesn't matter too much when Grizz Maroon are in your back line.
And these Terror Capes from Neunara have been elite, right? Just really, really insane usage to allow Grizz Maroon to pick up a lot of these eliminations. I mean, this is why Cloak and Dagger is just so good right now. Double Terror Cape, focus the same person down. I'm sure the comms are really clean from Grizz Maroon at the moment. And also you've got Hakari on the thing. Giamura lands a 5-man clobbering time. Apologies, Grizz Maroon. I believe I cursed you a bit.
It happens to the best of them, but a little less than 30 seconds to keep things going. Great stagger on to Hakari.
No TP, right?
Yeah, no TPs because the Strange did come banned. So we'll see what can go from here on out. Second checkpoint is taken. Time on the side of GCU Purple to turn this into a win condition for them with how much they've been reserving their ultimates. Like team fights, we saw last time the exact opposite, right? Where Grizz Maroon were winning team fights without using ultimates. Now it's the other way with GCU Purple just timing things properly. Grizz Maroon maybe not using theirs as best as they could.
Yeah, also GCU Purple was overcommitting, right?
Yeah,
they would use a ton
true.
here. Fear Magneto comes in, Olive looking for something, unfortunately unable to find anyone here. Sticks Ensong Inferno, as well as Akari has the clobbering time. Giamura lands onto 4! Huge clobbering time, and Hakari trades back. Unfortunately, GCU Purple's is just a little bit better. Layer that on top with the Terror Capes, and Anti picks up Sticks. Looking for an angle here. Finishing off Grizz Maroon, just trying to move this convoy. Potential last team fight territory for both of these teams.
Good time wasted by Olive on the point there, even though it's technically a stagger. I think it was worth enough.
Oh, that's committed early.
I was about to say, I don't know if that was the best timing to use it, especially because the Meteor M comes out immediately. The backline deleted by the Ensong Inferno, and it seems like Grizz Maroon are in for the pain train being unleashed by GCU Purple. Got a mischief used by Sneaky Raptor, and they will have their own end game now here for them to move on with the map win. And Grizz Maroon, again, the timing of the ultimate's not on lock, unfortunately for them. They gave it their all, but GCU Purple, the counter pick, worked in their favor.
I'm speechless. That cloak ult from Grizz Maroon at the end, ASOC had Meteor M. That was the only Meteor M that landed on a cloak, by the way.
That's
Every
so
single one from Olive or ASOC whiffed. Like, it didn't land, or not whiffed, but it didn't land on the cloak, even though it was used sometimes for it. So the fact that ASOC can come in a big clutch play, but also I just don't agree with Attorney copying and using it so early. They still had a lot of time. Also, didn't even really attempt to try to go into a building. Head scratcher play for Grizz Maroon, but it's going to allow GCU Purple to come away with a win here. 2-1 so far in the best of 5. Next map could be the final map for GCU Purple and Grizz Maroon.
Yeah, it could be the last one. Grizz Maroon need to force that map 5, but hey, we've had some great series here today, Shibby. That's all I like to note here so far. I mean, great looks during that first series. We almost saw a map 5 towards the end of it, but Stevenson proved to be the better squad, able to get that 0% against 99 and come back for the victory on domination. Maybe that's something we'll see here for the side of Grizz Maroon, but the problem was that they looked weak, I have to say it, against this GCU Purple team on domination. So maybe it'll depend on the map and the composition on how things will change there. Yeah, Convergence looked really good for them, but it sounded like they were choosing domination for this specific one coming up. So a couple different options they could go for. Can't do Brendan T'Challa. I think we saw earlier that Hell's Heaven was banned as well, so we likely won't see that either. So there's only so many options that they can go for. Krakoa probably is what we'll likely see from them this time. I mean, I don't know. There's only so many options that they can go for, and I just worry for this Grizz Maroon team, especially because they have such like high highs and such low lows. And yeah, we go to Krakoa.
Krakoa.
No one's gonna play Celestial Husk if they have to.
Yeah, and then what does that leave, right? You don't really have a lot of choices, like you mentioned, unfortunately.
We need more dom
maybe
maps.
we get it. Yeah, I was about to say, maybe we get a domination map in Season 7. That would be kind of sick. Actually, we probably will for whatever theme it is. We haven't gotten a dom map in a while. Because the reason is, fun fact, they didn't release a dom map for a while is because they gave us Resource Rumble, right? That was like their domination.
You know what? I also heard in the rumor mill that Virtus Pro were trying to have that played at the grand finals. Is the funniest thing. Yeah. Can you imagine if we had a Resource Rumble at the grand final?
Dude, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be so funny. Resource Rumble is such a wacky game mode. I'm actually kind of happy that Rivals took it out. I think they're gonna look. They said they're gonna rework it.
Rework it, yeah.
18. I've heard in the rumor mill they're gonna try and make it like an 18 versus 18 map, which that sounds hilarious, chaotic, hectic, and it's another game mode for the Marvel Rivals casual audience to enjoy. But hopefully we get a domination map in Season 7. But enough about Season 7. Let's talk about Season now as we see GCU Purple and Grizz Maroon coming in. Expecting any ban changes?
Yeah, Season 6 instead of Season 7 here, Shibby?
Nope. No, that's exactly what I was avoiding. That's exactly what I was avoiding.
I know you said 5 and then 7 earlier to avoid that. I was picking that up, Shibby. I knew exactly what you're doing. But we also know exactly what GCU Purple is going to do every time. They're going to ban Vanpool.
Yeah. I mean,
Loki save again.
Listen. Yeah,
that's the difference maker for them too, is the Loki. Like they have a better Loki player.
I mean, Grizz Maroon could also, we had our reservations about this domination pick, but retrospectively, right? They were playing like Hulk thing. Like they weren't playing the best heroes. And I think Grizz Maroon kind of realized as well, like, hey, if we just ban out Groot, pick what we're good at, I'm sure it's a difference maker. Maybe they pick Thor in remembrance for your mug. Jesus, it's just it's like bigger than your head, which is crazy.
Yeah,
right? Like
it's pretty big. I got it from a Ren fair,
dude. Of course. No, are you sure you didn't get it from
D20 on
from Throne Room? You didn't get it from Throne Room? Oh yeah. Okay, there you go. Nice. Okay.
It's leather and everything too. That's pretty dope.
It's
back
really
to the game
well built.
Yeah, pretty well built.
Back to the game.
Magneto saved again.
Thong
Honestly,
not
I
being
feel like
here.
it might have been a better option for them to save the Emma. They did better on the Emma. Banning the Mantis, I think, is a good idea, though. Mantis was doing
Yeah.
really good for GCU Purple on that last one.
Both teams, right? Both
Yeah.
teams. GCU Purple really opting in for some of those triple strat compositions. That's a good ban. I mean, now you force Grizz Maroon onto Magneto, which Olive actually was playing a really good Magneto. Like,
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. ASOC landing those, I mean, arguably very clutch back-to-back Meteor M's in overtime, right? Both on the offense and defense. That doesn't take away from Olive dropping, like, I think 18 finals or something like that. Some crazy number.
What is
on
happening
the Magneto?
with these compositions? Oh yeah,
Strange
the
not
Emma
banned,
was
though.
banned. Not the Emma. The Rogue was banned before, so potential for Olive to play that this time and change
Yeah.
things up. So I like it. Man, we were in the back rooms there for a second.
Where it's like that dev room, or like the the in the old games where they have it like it's all like the
That's where
test
everything
room or
spawns
whatever.
in from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. As
Oh man,
no
I'm
way
actually
ASOC
surprised they
is
didn't try to
legitimately
ban
playing
Hella
this.
Namor at all, because like how good that has been against this Grizz Maroon team, especially like we saw in Domination. Like they were the server admins.
I think GCU Purple want to go for a kidnap. I saw ASOC swap over to the Penny, but I think they're opting against it. I would like to see an early portal commit from Giamura.
Yeah, I think
actually
Giamura is
prefer-
gonna portal.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I actually way more enjoy, and I actually love the early portal commits, because if the round goes long enough, you do just get it back.
That's true. Yeah. Giamura was taking their time, but it doesn't look like they're portaling anymore. So maybe they canceled it after seeing that they weren't all kind of going in the same area. No, they just didn't use it. They're just going straight up Doctor Strange here. I mean, it's a good time to prepare for the new patch with Invisible Woman and Doctor Strange. If you want to practice it, this is the time to do it. Still good as like a main tank, in my opinion as well. So keep it going. Do what you can.
Yeah, Emma's not in the game either, and
That
Thing
too,
is
yeah.
banned as
Emma's a good
well,
counter
too.
against her.
Yeah, so like Strange just kind of feasts here. Although Grizz Maroon running a dive composition, Sneaky Raptor and Rainfall have to be somewhat, observant of where these divers are, right? Tracking Sticks, tracking Hikari. You can very easily lose track of everything if Olive's, beating your backline in and you have no clue where Venom's diving from.
I'm curious who she's going to target in terms of like the ability steal as well. Like if they're going to focus more on like a strategist or a
Esau.
duelist, so that they can't really do as much on that time, right? Stick's already getting taken out though, so that's a little bit more one-sided for GCU Purple, especially if the ultimate's in their favor. No Elim's off of it that time though, so a bit of a moot point. And Lychee though getting targeted by Anti and Nayunara.
Nice hand.
That's what I was worried about with this dive comp, because both of these strategists are going to get focused so much easier than what you would typically see.
No shield, right? Olive's opting in for the Rogue.
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, you called it early. Hella Namor is still available for GCU, so if you give that up to Agent Alpha and Anti, even if they don't have the Strangling Prison to combo, they're just really good fundamental heroes, right?
Very good fundamental heroes. They've been around in the game for such a long time and gotten better with age, as we've seen with the team-ups, we've seen with the buffs that have happened. I mean, didn't Hella recently get a buff just to the way that they used their Raven to escape? So there's a couple of different things that have come through the woodwork there. And the solo Namor buffs that we saw even made them better with the team-up now. So a bit more unique in of themselves. But Grizz Maroon, they got the first percentage to a decent level, but they haven't been able to do much since then.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Yeah, we'll see. Giamura, Eye of Agamotto available. Nayunara has to save the Force Physics, which is actually getting nerfed next patch. Thank God. Dive
Yeah.
is maybe slightly better.
It's just a cooldown
into-
for it, though, right?
Yeah, it's 10 seconds now instead of 8, so that makes it more intentional. Dive comes in from Hikari, slamming face first into GCU, but they've got 5 ults available in their bank here, and looks like Sneaky Raptor is going to be the first one to copy. Eternal Bonds afloat. Let's see if ASOC can land this. Attorney does throw down the Ensong Inferno, sticks as well, drops down to the butterfly. Anti's going to force into his Goddess of Death, and it doesn't matter because once you throw the Eye of
Oh my
Agamotto
goodness.
on top, Anti, it's like shooting fish in a barrel for him.
nothing that Grizz Maroon can do here. This is Infinity War, and unfortunately they have lost the battle. Thanos has snapped them to pieces, and they cannot get back to the objective. They're going to have to regroup and move through the portal together afterwards for the Grove if they want to turn things around. But last time we saw them give it their all, unfortunately lost the last team fight, and GCU Purple just has their number on these domination maps.
Yeah, again, I mean, again, we were surprised that Grizz Maroon opted in for domination, but I just think the mentality was like, hey, we played bad heroes. So if we just play good heroes, or we play a comp that we practiced, it's probably going to end up turning better. But GCU,
Get ready.
just picking good stuff, right? Like sometimes all it takes is just picking the better heroes, and Magneto's S tier, Hela and Namor probably S tier, and I would argue Cloak and Loki S tier, if not A tier, at least one of them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, GCU just playing really, really good heroes, and Grizz Maroon have to work a lot harder for the same result.
I like how they're kind of matching a little bit more here as well. That's a big thing too. Olive's held on to that Heartbreaker for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
we'll see if that comes into play. They'll have to use it to try and just get rid of some of the Strategist ultimates of GCU Purple, just based on the timing. I'm assuming that they've been doing the ult tracking for their team just based on experience, you know, with the timings and all that in competitive play. And you talked about how they've been probably playing in some scrims in the past as well. So something to look out for on when they proc their ultimate. But the big thing is GCU Purple. They seem to be having a high ground approach of this.
GCU taking high ground, looking to force something out here. Eternal Bond does get used from Rainfall. Hikari goes down to Giamura as well, so that's a big ult being removed. Eye of Agamotto. Olive ends up opting in for the Heartbreaker, but not really able to get too deep into the enemy backline, so you're not as tanky as you'd like, and pretty much a wasted rogue ult there.
That's been the difficulty with this Grizz Maroon roster, is timing of ultimates. We saw it great on Central Park, but I think a lot of that had to do because GCU Purple just had no synergy. And now that they've found their rhythm, there hasn't been anything that has taken them out of their halfway to victory. Good looks on the way that Olive was comboing there for a moment, and I love the Eye of Agamotto here. They are able to get at least a couple of picks, but will it be enough is the question mark. They do get some percentage from GCU Purple, but that's really a first team fight win for Grizz Maroon.
They burned 3 ults there, right? Eternal Bond, Hona Proteus, and Eye of Agamotto all to secure that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but Styx does have Goddess of Death, and Neunara, obviously Invisible Boundary available, can look to counter Giamura. But Agent Alpha, if this Eye of Agamotto lands and Agent Alpha throws this Horn of Proteus on top, it could be tough here. Sneaky Raptor already goes with the copy. Eternal Bond comes in, looking to lay the carpet down for their team. Neunara forced to match. Eye of Vishanti unfortunately does not land, but it doesn't matter.
Ooh,
Big Horn of
whale.
Proteus. Yeah, lands onto 4. Still no elims confirmed here. Look at Anti, though. Has opted in. And once again, how is he doing this?
They had a Doctor Strange, but the Strange was in no man's land, in the mirror dimension, stuck looking from the other end of a two-way mirror and could not get up in time. So a tough spot to be in. Heartbreaker wasted again for Grizz Maroon at the last moment. So GCU Purple, Fear Magneto, ASOC taunting the competition.
Yeah, it's my favorite spray. That's from the new skin. That's from the new skin. The fact that ASOC's not using it is diabolical, but yeah, it's one of the few animated stickers.
I don't believe they're
fact.
allowed to. I could be wrong.
Oh? No, I don't. Doctor Strange has a different skin on. No, there's no way they're not allowed to.
That's true.
Yeah, ASOC just too much aura. Says, I don't need a skin. As do you see Giamura with that Eye of Agamotto charging up in about 10%. Rainfall has Eternal Bond. ASOC potentially looking for a medium M onto Olichi. Styx forced to ult because they got really low. This thing's going to go down relatively quickly. At 22 HP still. Doesn't go down. Rainfall commits the Eternal Bond. And like clockwork, Magneto comes in, unfortunately. Not charged up enough, so does not get the Elim. Hikari whiffs the Eye of Agamotto, I believe. Yeah, unable to get anybody. Still, Giamura goes down. Attorney as well commits alongside their team and are going to flip the point here.
not as dire straits as we saw the last domination for Grizz Maroons, but again, they've had to use so many resources to get the point every time, and GCU Purple have been content with holding on to their ultimates till when they need to use them. So we'll see Sneaky Raptor use probably the Eternal Bond copy from the God of Mischief to get onto the objective. And then Giamora finds some way to combo with that Horn of Proteus, like we saw last time. I'm really liking the way that they position themselves after they lose the team fight. They build up their ultimate just enough. They're like, okay, we can get back to spawn. We might drop a couple members here and there, but ultimately we didn't have to give up as much as they did to get into this scenario. So really comes down to how much percentage Grizz Maroon can secure before GCU Purple take things to task, and that's an actual huge elimination onto Giamora.
Yeah, Hikari having their number. Olive opting in for the Fear Magneto, looking for someone else because the bubble came in. Anti once again trying to shoot fish in a barrel. Takes down the Eunora through the invisible boundary. So Grizz Maroon are just going to lose this point.
They got to get onto the objective as quickly as they can. Aya Agamotto came out, but was completely blocked by the strange shield. TP is not going to be there in time. I don't think someone needs to touch
they don't
at
touch.
the last second, and it will be GCU Purple taking the series in stride. They dropped the second map, but did not matter. They proved to be the stronger team, and they will be the ones as the ultimate victors.
Wow, GCU taking the 3-1 victory over Grizz Maroon. Very well played. Good team play from GCU overall here. Sneaky Raptor getting the MVP, but I mean, individual members from GCU were able to step up. Normally, born to tank DPS, forced to support. Unlucky for Sneaky Raptor. But hey,
worked out.
What you got to do to get the win.
No.
Right?
Exactly. I mean, again, looking at the difference here, Anti was the difference maker. You can't allow Hella Namor to go that easily into a great Hella, right? We saw them be less effective on the Phoenix, honestly, and then they realized, oh, I can just play Hella Namor. They did that in the last map. They did that in this map. There was no contest. And looking back at the bans and protects from these two, I think the group made sense. The Mantis, yeah, but you did really good on the Mantis yourself for the side of Grizz Maroon. So I think you more nerfed yourself than nerfed the other team, and getting rid of the Hella would have been a difference maker instead. So that just goes to show how important the ban and protect phase really is against certain compositions and certain teams. There's only so much you can ban, of course, and it wasn't wholly because of that, but I'd say that was a big part of why they weren't able to come out with the win in terms of Grizz Maroon. Also, just some great plays from GCU Purple.
Yeah, I mean, really good match, though. I think a lot of people are going to look at the box score and be like, oh, you know, Grizz Maroon only took a map because they got lucky. But, you know, a couple team fights go a different way, like you mentioned, or a couple, you know, certain aspects of the game go differently. And Grizz Maroon are looking at a tie game, if not potentially a map 5 here. So, really well played. I liked what GCU Purple were bringing to the arena here. And a team that I'm going to watch a little bit more closely. I think a lot of us, obviously we built the narrative, Olive's a pro player, or, you know, she's a semi-pro, whatever you want to call it. But GCU Purple just showing up with better team play, and it kind of proving that, hey, just because there's a very high-ranked player on the enemy team doesn't mean you as a squad cannot overcome that.
That's true. That's true. Unfortunate, too, as we had one of the interns for NECC on that squad as well. But again, it was great to showcase their skill throughout this tournament. Thank you to both the teams here and the ones before for even agreeing to be on broadcast. There's still more matches to be streamed in the future weeks, so please let our admin team know if you are part of the NECC Collegiate in any of the games, if you want your matches to be streamed, so we can put those on the broadcast, because we want to stream people who want to be streamed, right? That's why we're putting on all of these shows throughout the weeks of competition. But yeah, it's been great to see the different games that have been put on it through so far. Rocket League and CS2 are tomorrow. League of Legends on Thursday, and Overwatch No 2 now on Friday. I forgot about that because the changes. Yeah, we're back into the past. It's only Overwatch from here on out. But yeah, it's been a great time to be here with you, Shibby. Any final thoughts before we send things away?
I mean, just really, really happy to get to cast NECC with you. I think I'm on next week and the week after. Yeah. Dude, no, I'm never getting a break. Everybody's gonna get sick of seeing me. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Keg, unfortunately, busy. I'm more than willing to take up the cause
He's an
here. So I'll be
actor.
back on next week. Yeah, he's an actor, which is really cool. And I'll be back on with CB next week. Still, Vaudable, we got more games than me and CB did last week. 4
Yeah,
at
that's
least
true.
the opposed 3.
We
So,
didn't get our map
curse kinda
5,
living.
unfortunately, that we were hoping for. We got close, though. So,
Well,
maybe,
yeah, we got
maybe
close
next
a couple
time.
times.
Yeah.
That's maybe because I was a
It's
little
been
sick.
fun.
That's why. That's why I was
That could
depowered.
be
I
it,
was-
yeah.
wasn't as full strength, unfortunately. So yeah, but yeah, super fun.
Oh,
Shout outs
man.
to every college team that competed, like you said. And yeah, I'll be back next week. Come stick around for more NECC action. Vaudable, just take us out, man.
Yeah. Shout out to always bet on ASOC is what the chat is saying on that. Shout out to GC Purple for the victory there. Shout out to our production team in the background, Adam, that we had, Ramen, and then we had Kihana also helping, or Kiana, I think that's what it is, helping in the back end too, subbing in for Reach, who is busy today. So it's been a great time to be here on the NECC broadcast, and make sure you tune into more of the action. Follow the channel for more games in the collegiate sphere in just a bit.